welcome guys. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
Estamos aquí con dos invitados súper especiales hoy.
Super
Tres.
Dos y medio.
You're gonna see Brandon quiet just because he's entertained.
She's in her world, like
Yeah,
that.
no.
She loves
The attention.
all the attention. Like that.
They got the same chin hair.
Yo, low key. I think you're funny, huh?
Same barber.
Pero hoy estamos aquí con dos invitados bien especial. Right now we're shooting this episode at 1 RPM studio or 1 RPM.
Yeah,
I think yeah. Y estamos aquí. So if you guys are new, you guys don't know, my name's Alain. I'm here with
Right?
Brandon.
y los dos invitados hoy son
Kevin,
Y-
Eiroa,
Y Juliana Otero.
Let's give a big round of applause. Hey.
and Lily.
And Lily.
Thank you,
Lily.
studio audience. Pero what's up, guys?
All good, man. All good. Aquí wrapping up another fun work day.
So let's get into it. So you guys, you are an A&R.
I'm an A&R, correct. I've been in the industry for a little over 10 years. I started from the bottom, literally as an intern at a major label. Kind of worked my way up there, and I've worked in different areas of the industry, from management to booking. I went on tour with artists, and for the past 2 years, I've been at 1 RPM as an A&R. So, it's not like the traditional, at least for my specific position, it's not like the traditional A&R where it's like, you're just in studios all day and kind of putting writers or producers and stuff. The way our company works, we're a lot more focused on like how the projects are, the financial side of the projects as well. So we make sure that obviously that the artists are doing good music, but that they're also healthy in terms of
Making money.
and that being consistent in what they're doing, etc. And then I'm also, since my background is also in marketing, so I work a lot hand in hand with Juliana and the marketing team, and like, okay, how do we get creative with what we have? How do we put these artists to work with other artists? Our company is a global company, so how do we work with our offices in Mexico, Spain, Argentina, like in the different markets, to make sure that our projects are being developed in the best way possible? So yeah, it's a fun gig.
That was a great explanation.
Yeah.
I told you before, I talk a lot, man.
No,
You're good. Well, that's what we love. We love that. Yeah.
You gotta cut me off.
You're good.
No, ¿Y tú, Juliana?
¿En Spanish o en inglés?
Como quieras,
Como
nosotros lo
quiera,
tiramos
yeah.
en cualquier...
En Spanglish.
En
Yeah.
Spanglish. Bueno, no, yo en español. Apenas llevo 2 años aquí, todavía me falta practicar el inglés. Por ahí vamos.
Poco a poco le está cogiendo.
Sorry, Jeff.
¿Cómo?
Poco a poco ya cogiendo el inglés.
Sí. Yo empecé en 1 RPM, pero desde la oficina de Colombia, como project manager también. Y poco a poco la oficina de Miami como que fue creciendo y ya hubo una necesidad de desarrollar como que el business unit latino para las empresas de acá en Miami. Una necesidad también pues por el CEO, el dueño de la empresa, de meterle la ficha acá a la oficina de Miami porque pues había un potencial enorme. Y ahí fue que empecé a trabajar con Marco, que es otro de los A&Rs de la oficina de Miami, ayudarle con sus artistas que eran principalmente cubanos en esa época, yo desde Colombia. Y hicimos muy buen equipo, hicimos muy buen click y ya después se dio la oportunidad para que yo viniera acá a Miami a seguir con ese trabajo, pues.
Sí, eso, de hecho, un fun fact, 1 RPM, somos la empresa que, o sea, creo que somos los únicos que creímos en los artistas de Cubatón. O sea, los tenemos a todos.
Chulo.
El único que no, creo que no tenemos como a 2 o 3 solamente. O sea, tenemos Tiger, Chulo, Jacob, Chacal, todos han ido llegando y han visto el trabajo. O sea, esta oficina se abrió con ellos, básicamente, y ahorita pues ya tenemos artistas de todo del reggaetón, de otros aspectos, pero esta oficina, una parte crucial de esta oficina fueron los artistas del Cubatón. Y era porque otros sellos como que no sabían qué hacer con ellos. And we're like, vengan para acá. We got you guys.
No, pero eso es primero we applaud you guys porque en verdad no se veía tanto como el movimiento de Cubatón, it skyrocketed, in 2018 más o menos,
Right.
¿cuándo fue que we were going to Centro and that's when it really started popping off, especially there,
Right.
Around 2018, 2019, más o menos.
Sure.
And se ve that they're taking it more serious. And otro que we're big fans of también Kendaya, que I saw that you guys.
Yeah.
También.
Él es más de la nueva
He's
escuela.
from
pero,
the next generation. Yeah, of course.
Pero that's super dope that you guys are like, especially like helping out like the Cubatón scene and like the Cuban artists.
Es que, I mean, you know, my family's Cuban. I grew up in PR, so tengo un poco de mezcla de los dos lados y de la cultura y todo, pero la industria de la música en Cuba no existe como existe acá. Over there it's kind of like the Wild Wild West. Like
no, la industria no existe.
No, I mean, artists make money haciendo shows y haciendo cosas, pero la organización de sellos y de cosas no es como aquí que pueden entender, you know, lo que es un contrato, lo que es publishing. Allá no se explica nada de eso. Es like, toma este dinero, yo lo pongo en YouTube and magic, you know, it's like they don't really figure it out. Ahorita we've taken the toll, you know, not the toll, tomamos el tiempo de explicarles a ellos, oye, esto es lo que es un adelanto, esto es lo que es un contrato, esto es lo que es generar dinero en YouTube, esto es lo que es generar, you know, so they're kind of understanding it more. Y, o sea, Marco realmente que no está acá, ese tipo, like, para mí hay una estatua de él en La Habana, porque that guy signed all the Cubans, like, he signed every single Cuban. You know, shout out también a Jaime Coscuyuela, el manager de Coscu, y el hermano que también fue uno de los que apostó mucho en los cubanos, en el Micha, en el Tiger, like, so that kind of people from the industry here, poniéndole fe en esos artistas, también ayudó mucho a que los artistas cubanos, pues hoy día acá, entiendan un poco más cómo es el negocio y que se respeten dentro de la industria, que no se vea como que son unos locos y ya, like they're actually making good money, doing what they're doing and being able to grow as artists.
Y hacen música de calidad también. Like, oh, the Micha, toda esa gente.
I mean, they're like legends. Like,
Sí.
Pero, y usted, entonces, like, el rol de usted ha sido también como un poquito como educarlo en la industria. 100%. Porque si es nuevo, como tú dijiste, como que le están diciendo, esto es un split sheet, por ejemplo. Esto es un, le están educando de la industria.
Sí. Yo creo que sí, que uno de los challenges principales también que ha tenido el género, precisamente para eso, para que se los tomen en serio, porque son artistas que facturan súper bien.
Y son máquinas de música, o sea, todas las semanas están ahí.
Exacto, son máquinas de música, facturan súper bien, tienen canales de YouTube súper saludables que les generan un ingreso, o sea, súper chévere. Pero gran parte del challenge ha sido eso, que hay mucha informalidad, hay mucho desconocimiento, entonces esa parte de la educación se ha sido, yo creo que un componente súper grande precisamente para que los otros partners, los otros agentes como de la industria se tomen un poco a sus artistas y al género un poco más en serio. Y ya hemos recibido, por ejemplo, mucho feedback de algunas de las principales DSPs que van están apostándole también al género, están abriendo unos nuevos espacios, unas nuevas playlists que nos parece súper chévere.
Y no solo con los cubanos, o sea, I think 1RPM en general, la cultura de la compañía y la base de la compañía es transparencia. O sea, cualquier artista hoy día entra al website, crea su cuenta y tienes acceso a toda la información, cuánto generó, dónde está, like, data is king in our company. We make sure that it's transparent. Everything that we see, you see. No hay nada que nosotros te digamos a ti que no sea lo que estés viendo tú a la misma vez. O sea, todo centavo que entre lo vas a ver, lo que cobramos nosotros lo vas a ver, lo que se gastó en marketing. O sea, it's impressive.
Y eso también hace como una accountability.
Of course. Porque hay mucha gente, o sea, en esta industria y más ahora que nunca. O sea, yo cuando empecé eran los major labels y ya, no era como hoy día que cualquiera con una computadora puede ser artista. Hoy día hay mucha gente por ahí diciéndote, no, tranquilo, I got you, yo te dame $5,000 y yo te resuelvo todo. And then you don't know what happened. And eso es un horror story que escucho todos los días. Yo, papi, yo le he dicho, güey, no hicieron nada. Me dejaron en el aire, no sé qué pasó. And it's like, we don't work like that. Like, o sea, nosotros, incluso cuando firmamos artistas y les damos dinero y todo, nosotros nos gastamos dinero sin que ellos nos lo aprueben. It's like, this is our plan, this is what we want to spend. But you have to tell us if you want to do it or not, because at the end of the day, it's your money that you have to recoup. Like, that's a little bit of, you know, entrando más en la parte del negocio, pero...
Y hay algo súper chévere también en la plataforma, que es la creación como de las campañas. Entonces nosotros creamos las campañas para cada lanzamiento con los tasks que se van a realizar para cada lanzamiento, si se va a realizar inversión, cuál es la inversión, y ellos pueden ver en tiempo real el estatus,
todo lo que se está haciendo,
que se está ejecutando, y el estatus de
cada
task.
falta, que no se ha hecho,
completed, in progress, on hold o canceled porque no.
Lo hace muy fácil, como...
I was gonna say that right now. Es que, like, esa transparencia is what makes it attractive for like, an artist to be like, yo, like, I'm not getting screwed here.
Right.
Like,
Of course.
Exacto.
No, and it's cool. O sea, yo como A&R, por ejemplo, me encanta como la plataforma es abierta a todo el mundo. I found projects that no estaban atendiéndolo a nadie. They were just doing everything on their own. Y entro al sistema y digo, bro, o sea, algo está pasando con este artista. And 2 years later, we've, quadrupled their income because we started working with him. Vimos que no estaban cobrando algunas cosas como se supone. Vimos que había un potencial, que tenían audiencia, que something was happening, and we were able to go in and say, this kid is worth it. Let's do something with this project.
Right.
Y así hay un montón de proyectos que hoy día they're big stars en nivel de, they're a lot bigger than when they started with us.
Yeah.
Y todo fue porque en la plataforma pudimos ver esa información y decir, esto está funcionando,
So what is it that you look for, like, as an A&R, I guess?
porque eres part scout también.
Yeah.
Oh,
As an
100%.
A&R, you're a scout.
I mean, obviously the music is important, but I think more than the music is and it's something I say every time. Y no suena repetitivo, but it's the truth. It's I look for artists that have something going on, an audience.
Okay.
Porque hoy día cualquiera se graba y dice tres loqueras y se cree artista. And it's like, no, bro, because you're wearing Balenciagas and have a cubana on, you're not an artist. Like, you need to have people consuming what you're doing. We have artists that their music is not mastered, it's not mixed and anything, and they're making a lot of money because at least people, they like it.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's not necessary. Obviamente la calidad tiene que ver algo, pero al final del día más que nada es como cualquier producto. That's what people don't realize is music at the end of the day is a product. It's a business. You're a business as an artist. It's like you need to find people to buy what you're selling.
Claro.
You can spend all the money in the world haciendo un video lindo y metiéndole campaña y todo, pero si nadie está comprando lo que estás vendiendo, you're wasting your money and your time and your energy. Entonces, you say, no, la disquera no están haciendo nada por mí. And it's like, you're not doing anything for yourself, bro.
Yeah.
I
Like,
love that excuse. It's like
it's like,
they labeled him back. It's like, no, you're not doing it.
That's
it's like, we did back you, but no one's listening to your
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
Like,
This is trash.
not necessarily because it's trash, it's because, you gotta start from the bottom.
Yeah.
Right.
Figure
of
out
course.
who's listening to your music first. Si tu primo, si tu mamá, si tu vecino no te está escuchando, start there. Like, literally. Like, porque hay gente que le mete billetes y hace los videos y la película y el Lamborghini, and I'm like, bro, no one's listening to your shit. Wait, can I curse? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Go
crazy. Go crazy.
Yeah.
Y algo en esas líneas también que me parece súper importante, sobre todo ya desde el lado de marketing, es un artista que esté, yo le digo, dispuesto a jugar ping pong con nosotros.
Right.
O sea, que nosotros enviemos oportunidades, enviemos planes y haya un feedback, haya una respuesta, una acción,
100%.
que estén puestos como para trabajar y para jugar ping pong con nosotros.
Yeah.
Por eso le digo eso.
La palabra es trabajar. Esto es un trabajo. This is like not even 9 to 5. Aquí desde...
24/7.
Yeah.
Hoy día, con el volumen de música que hay, even for major artists, o sea, los artistas más grandes del mundo están sacando 3 canciones al mes, a veces. Una locura.
Fade, like una cada semana.
Every freaking
Friday. Yeah.
Y Fade le está vendiendo millones de dólares.
Yeah.
So you're not only competing against that, you're competing against every other kid that has talent, that wants to be an artist.
Sí.
Por eso digo, you have to work twice as hard as the next guy.
Yeah, literally.
Y otra cosa que decimos, ustedes, el artista lo tiene que querer más que nosotros. Al final del día, el artista eres tú. Si yo te estoy diciendo todos los días, oye papi, postea en las redes, oye papi,
Es que no te
has
debería
puesto el
decir
link,
esto.
oye, if
Yeah.
I have to tell you what to do, I'm not interested in working
You're
with
not
you.
an artist at the end of the day.
No, not even that. I'm not interested.
Es que-
Porque es que no creen en mí. I'm like, I really don't. 'Cause
Yeah,
tú no
yeah.
crees en
You don't believe in yourself, like your work, yeah.
Un deportista,
love that.
por ejemplo.
It's like, like a
athlete.
baseball player that doesn't practice, that doesn't show up. Oh, why don't you put me in the game? I'm like,
Sí,
You don't practice.
I never seen you.
yeah. Like, yeah, I remember you from 3 months ago, but,
Yeah.
Sí,
so
sí,
that's, esa parte es súper crucial.
clave.
Y desde abajo, o sea, you have to want it more than we do. That's literally how it is. O sea, al final del día, o sea, yo soy músico, we're all creative people, we're all young, we're all passionate about making things happen. Pero si tenemos que estar detrás del artista, oye esto, oye lo otro, oye.
No.
And then what they're posting es, fui a Brico, estoy aquí incómodo. I'm like, dude, then you don't want to be an artist. You want to be famous.
Estás en el peliculeo y no en...
No,
like,
if you want to be famous, there's other companies that deal with that. Go be an influencer. Go do something else. Pero ser artista no es estar en las redes flashing with your lifestyle. Like, that's when you get to a point where people care about what you're doing.
Yeah.
But if people don't care about what you're doing, then don't start there. Están
Yeah.
empezando al revés. Like,
and even then, it's like, if you're posting so much about, like, like that extravagant lifestyle, like
Right.
a lot of people can't relate to that.
100%.
So it's like at the end of the day, people like they listen to your music and they're subscribed to you, or like we talk about it all the time. Like even with our podcast, we're thinking of it as a brand too. It's
Right.
like,
Yeah, literally.
it's like yo, like at the end of the day, people gotta be able to relate to
Relate
it.
to what you're doing.
You know,
And not only what you're
yeah,
posting, lyric, like yo mismo día, I mean, I like urban music and I love it, y la
Yeah.
cultura y todo, pero ya yo mismo estoy saturado, bro. It's like,
Yeah.
how many songs are gonna say la misma mierda? Se lo quiero meter, esto, like, be a little bit more creative, bro.
Yeah.
We all think the same things, but maybe say it not
Differently,
differently, you
or
know.
like,
But the biggest artist in the world experiments with his music. Imagínate, Bad Bunny switches like not genres, but like he
But
adapts to like
sounds,
different
yeah,
sounds
yeah.
all the
What
time.
happens? Everyone starts doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
El Jersey empezó a sonar Bad
Claro.
Bunny, ahora todo el mundo quiere hacer Jersey, hablar de
Yeah.
culo, y
Jersey
it's like, bro, okay, I get it, but
It's like métele otro flavor or something.
that's,
Yeah.
you know, he's already doing it.
Exactly.
Why am I gonna listen to someone else doing the same thing if he's doing it already?
and he's
He's
bigger,
the
so it's
top
like,
one.
yeah, like, so.
It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
go, you know, you have your favorite restaurant and they open one right next door que vende la misma comida. You're still
Yeah.
gonna go to your favorite restaurant.
That's like if they open a sushi sake next to Komodo. It's like, bro,
Yeah.
it's like, bro, like, you might get the people who can't get into Komodo.
Yeah,
but-
true.
Sushi
Yeah.
sake.
But that's exactly the thing. They're gonna go once, but they're still gonna want to go to
Yeah.
Komodo after. They're like,
They're
no,
like, yo,
Komodo's
Komodo looks
better.
lit.
I mean, y digo, o sea, I've done a few podcasts donde siempre, digo, mira, soy el villano, pero bro, it's the truth. And it's stuff that I deal with every day. And I don't say it to bash people and to tell people that what they're doing is wrong. It's more like focus on what really
What
matters,
matters,
bro.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you really want to be an artist, spend money on what matters first. O sea, understand the business you're getting into. This is not
Yeah.
an easy business, que es algo que yo he dicho mucho. Siento que se le ha perdido el respeto a lo que es el negocio de la música.
Yeah.
Like people think just because you post a video on YouTube y estás roncando, and like artists do more work before the song comes out than after. Están que sin el preview, que papi, vamos a romper esto, lo otro, sale la canción,
Yeah.
they promote it for a week, and then that's it.
Claro.
And then they're like at the gym and doing other shit, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is my next song. And like, you didn't even promote the one you just released, bro.
What are you talking about?
Y eso que dijiste tú me pareció súper importante, que es eso
Wait,
de...
man, put in the mic a little, just a little bit. No, just in case.
aquí.
Como habla.
Acércate un
Poniéndolo,
poquito.
si quieres lo puedes mover también. Para que sea un poco más cerca, sí.
Ah, ya.
Yeah. No.
Y eso que dijiste tú me pareció
Yeah.
súper importante también de encontrar esos puntos donde la gente se pueda relacionar
Right.
para
Yeah.
que haya esa conexión, porque eso es lo que hay que hacer al inicio, como conectar con la gente, con los que van a ser tus fans como potenciales, que
Yeah.
ellos encuentren esos puntos en común, y de eso se trata de construir como esa audiencia, ¿no? Y eso es bien importante como ir como a las analíticas de las primeras personas que te están empezando a seguir, tratar de entender si hay algunos trends en los temas de los videos que mejor estén funcionando para tener ese entendimiento de por dónde es la cosa.
Claro.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to study like the genre. Like hay que estudiarse el género.
En la industria.
La industria
It's like,
entera.
I tell people, it's like trying to be, it's like you want to go to court and defend somebody as a lawyer, but you never read a law book in your life.
Yeah.
It's like, of course, you're going to look ridiculous, and you're not going to know what you're doing. This is a serious industry. It's a business, and there's a lot of moving parts, que si tú no las entiendes, la vas a pasar mal, y después you're going to say that, no, esta industria es una mierda. It's like, no, bro, it's like, it's a hard industry.
Yeah.
I've been in this for 11 years, and I still feel like I'm learning like I started yesterday, you know?
Right.
Todos los días esto cambia, and I feel like after the pandemic, everything moved so much faster.
Yeah.
Because artists had to figure out, one, because the streaming platforms, mira lo que está pasando con lo del the movie
Yeah.
industry, es lo mismo. Like platforms it's the way artists are making money with their music is very different of how it used to be. Before you sold a physical CD and you got a percentage of that CD. Hoy día es una fórmula, que si esto, que, like it's a lot more vague of how people get paid. So that's where you got to start, understanding how that works, understanding what makes money.
Yeah.
Reels makes money. YouTube Shorts makes money. A lot of people don't know that.
Damn.
YouTube Shorts is like
Yeah.
This
so
is
Because that just came in, right? Like they just started monetizing.
Well, it's been for a while, but they're really pushing it now because
yeah.
more than ever, short content.
hay que hacer más YouTube Shorts.
Esto es perfecto
Yeah.
para nosotros porque nosotros
Also
estamos
learning.
en la vuelta de podcast.
Yeah.
¿Entiendes?
Sí.
Que va hand in hand con la música también. ¿sí
Yeah.
ves?
Claro.
No, 100%. And you want funny. Me as an A&R, yo descubro más artistas scrolling on Instagram and seeing reels, and I'm like, oh shit, I like this.
Yeah.
Then on going on playlists, that's why like that's one of the words I hate the most. It's like, oh, póngame un playlist. Like I'm like, bro,
¿Qué te va a hacer eso?
it's so annoying when that's all they're focused on. It's like, no, pero no me metiste en un playlist. I'm like, bro, no one's listening to your music. If they put in a playlist in a week, they're gonna take it out, and no one's still gonna be listening to your music.
Yeah.
Start from the bottom. We have artists que les va súper bien sin estar en una sola playlist because they have people that go and look for their music. Otra cosa que me pasa. You say, oh, me mandan un cold email. Check out my music. One link. That's it. I don't know who they are. No name. I try to look them up on YouTube. No aparecen por ningún lado. There's no brand. There's no connection of like, how can I find? They just send me like a Dropbox link. Like, check out my next song. I don't even open them.
You just leave it on red.
Where's the camera? Here.
Yeah.
Do not send me cold emails with just a link. I'm not gonna open them.
Bro, we've had that with like we started like once we got really into like the Latin culture like space
Like the music genre and stuff like that.
And interviewing like some artists, we started getting artists trying to send us stuff, and I was like, bro, but like looking you up like, exactly like that. Like I'm like, yo, there's not like, what am I gonna ask you?
Right.
Like, what are we gonna talk about?
You go on their page and it's 3 pictures of their car and one of their dog. Okay.
One looking at the beach.
That's the album cover.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, what is this? Like, there's no concept.
And then
no...
their story is like, in the studio. I'm like, okay, sure.
No,
Congrats.
Algo también que yo siento que la gente se le olvida a veces es que esto es una carrera,
Claro.
como que es una carrera full time, como si uno fuera un administrador, un ingeniero, vas ascendiendo, a medida que vas teniendo experiencia, vas haciendo tu carrera, igual aquí. Pero y hoy en día yo sí siento, no sé si es, me imagino por la inmediatez de todo, como que todo el mundo quiere cut, ¿cómo se llama eso?
Cut the work.
Sí,
want
como
the results.
Like instant gratification, obviously.
Exacto.
They want the work without the
Entonces,
results.
El tema de los shortcuts también, como que la gente siento que quiere llegar ya a ese nivel con shortcuts, con...
O sea, suena irónico,
Sin hacer
pero
el trabajo.
hasta el contenido ya it's not even YouTube videos anymore. Now it's a short. Like people don't have time to even sit down and watch a 3-minute video.
That's been like
Everything is consumed in 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
It is crazy.
Like it's because you're fighting with people's attention spans.
100%.
And there's like, como ustedes dijeron, like it's so saturated that you're competing with everybody. You're competing with everybody.
What are you gonna do that sticks out?
Exactly.
What are you gonna do that's gonna get me as a consumer, not as an A&R? I'm like, I'm telling you, a veces, yo, o sea, outside of work, obviously I'm a fan too of music. Y a cada rato yo he conseguido más artistas que me gustan y que empiezo a escuchar nuevos por Reels, que vi un video que me gustó, entré a su perfil, estaba su Spotify, their Linktree, and I added them, like, playlists, like, you have to create the journey for people to like what you're doing. Once you have their attention, keep them with you.
Yeah.
Like that's your job as an artist. That's our job as marketing. Like it's how do we retain people's attention? You said it. And you're competing against a multi-billion-dollar interest que lo que quieren es venderte mierda. Like sell you the newest thing that's on trend and all these things. You're literally competing against that every single day. Every single day. So that's why you have to outwork everybody.
Do you think like the Reels and TikToks and stuff like that have ruined the music business in a sense?
No, o sea, yo creo que pues ahorita TikTok es una de las herramientas, yo creo que principales para el descubrimiento de música.
I don't think it ruined it. I think what happened, and social media in general, es como que la gente le perdió el wow factor a las cosas.
Claro.
Como que when you were a little kid, you would go to the randomest thing. Bro, I used to go to Rainforest Cafe. Y cuando esa mierda empezaba a llover, I was like,
wow.
Holy shit. You're in Publix, bro. You know Publix? When the thunder, the vegetable. I was a little kid and I'm like, bro, it's raining in here? What the hell?
Bro, I remember when their shopping carts used to do little cars. I used to like, bro, that was an experience.
With the little steering wheel.
Yeah, with the steering
That's
wheel.
what I'm saying. Que ya hoy día you consume so much stuff all day. Que ya puedes ver la cosa más impresionante del mundo. And like, next.
There's something there's something.
So I feel like that, eso le ha quitado un poco como el amor a las cosas bien hechas. And it's sad. Like, I'm a musician and I grew up listening to like boleros and like Benny Moré and like, legit music.
Yo creo que sí, como que aceleraron el tempo, el rhythm.
Cómo se consume todo.
Cómo se consume
And not
todo,
just
o sea,
music, everything in general. O sea, las películas mismas, ya tú ves una serie once and that's it. You never talk about it again.
Pero también siento que tiene, obviamente como todo tiene sus cosas malas y sus cosas buenas, en la un poco más positivo, siento que ahorita o sea, es más posible que nunca para upcoming
alcanzarle
artists
a la gente.
a ser descubiertos,
Right.
tener oportunidades de make it. Entonces eso también me parece buenísimo de artistas que, no sé, se van virales en la plataforma y la vida les cambia pues porque hicieron su contenido súper chévere, que antes, hace... no sé, 50, 60 años hubiera sido imposible sin toda la maquinaria.
It's like if you knew somebody.
Sí,
then,
no,
exacto.
that was, you know, it's something I talk about all the time, you know, as an A&R and our platform is we have already like almost 1.5 million accounts in our 1RPM.
Wow.
So
That's
that,
impressive.
you know, I don't know how, maybe there's a big percentage, not a big, but a percentage of that they're not active. But there's people signing up every day trying to put stuff out there. So, de acuerdo con Juli, it's not all bad, pero si lo usas como se supone.
Yeah.
If you use it to actually promote your music, your content, like create like, I'm a huge fan of people like Kenny Beats, for example.
Yeah.
Kenny Beats is all over the place. He's on Twitch, he's on, you know, but you know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know who he is, and he's been doing it for a really long time, and they're consistent. Mark Rebile is another one. Que ese tipo lleva años doing random ass videos.
Bro,
and de un día para otro,
in the
it's like,
pandemic. Yeah.
In the pandemic, a lot of people took advantage of that and learned the craft and created an audience, and they've stuck with that.
But he's selling out like festivals now.
Ahora, but that guy started performing in little bars for 10 people, and he used to post that.
I saw videos.
That's how I started following him when he was DJing at like some barbecue joint.
Yeah.
And it was like 10 people, and I was like, this guy's hilarious. And now he's selling out like venues.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
But
And seeing
why?
him perform in his underwear, like, it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
No, but why does it work?
Right.
Porque
I've
he's
never seen it.
consistent,
Yeah.
seguía con su marca, siguió haciendo lo mismo, aprendió what works, what doesn't. He went adjusting, and bro, it's
total.
Una
Consistency.
preguntita que Kevin ya lo mencionó, pero did you guys know desde nene, like, you wanted to do la música o...?
No, para mí no, para mí fue raro, o sea, yo me empecé como a sentir esa pasión o a descubrir esa pasión en la universidad.
Okay.
Y me involucré mucho más con el tema de producción, me encantaba producir y bueno, ahí empecé también a explorar con cositas mías. Estudié, una vez ya me gradué del colegio, estando en la universidad, empecé a estudiar administración de empresas, y estando en la universidad dije, bueno, voy a hacer como un minor en música, ya que me está gustando tanto. Y ya una vez me gradué dije, no, yo definitivamente sí quiero hacer algo en el entretenimiento, o cine o música, y bueno, me salió por aquí.
Damn.
Sí, me too. I mean, I grew up in a super Hispanic household. So from both sides. My grandparents were Cuban. Me pasaba en casa de mi abuela escuchando, you know, Los Diamantes and all these Los Pancho and all this stuff. So I was always surrounded by music. My dad was a musician. All my cousins were musicians. So I grew up. I never knew I wanted to be in the business necessarily. Then growing up, one of my uncles worked in the music business. So I was always backstage and stuff like that. I'm
Here
like,
in Miami?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I like the business, like the back end of the music business more than being an artist or a musician, for example. I went to college, my first year and a half of college, I was studying architecture. It had nothing to do with music. But I had a band in Puerto Rico, and we were playing in little bars, and I'm like, nah, bro, this is the shit. This is what I want to do. Oh, you know, we were going to
Nothing beats
bars,
this
we
feeling.
were playing, and I was like, you know what? Like, I want to really get into this. And when I moved back to Miami, I finished. I did the Miami business, the Miami-Dade music business program. I didn't go to like a fancy school. From there, I applied to every single internship I found. I got one internship, and that was it. Once I got my foot in the door, I just worked my ass off and never looked back.
Hell yeah.
Nah, that's...
But like I said, este año cumplo 11 años en la industria, and I still feel like now is when I'm getting a hang of it. You know, it takes a long time. People say Karol G. Karol G was singing for like 8 years before she became who she is today.
Oh, yeah.
I hate to bring him up again, but Fade's been in the game forever, and then now,
all those people
años.
for a really long time.
Casi todo, menos Bad Bunny, they use, but
I mean,
everybody who's been working on the little
but even then, people, I mean, obviously we don't know him personally, but like people are like, yo,
Most
he
likely,
fucking works his ass off.
yeah.
Like people are like, yo, he's a different beast, like a different.
That's the thing.
He has to, para estar donde está, estoy
No,
segura.
to be at that level, there's
Sí.
no other way to do it. If any artist at that level, es como, it's a different ballgame. O sea, hay muchos moving parts, pero el artista siempre es el eje de lo que está pasando.
Sí.
No one's behind them like, papi, wake up, let's go, let's do some music. Like, it's the artist putting the pressure, and that's how you become successful in any business.
Exacto, in life, total working.
Literal.
I don't know if you guys seen the Yeezy documentary.
Yeah.
No, I haven't
Crazy.
seen it, yeah.
It's
Bro,
impressive, man.
He said it in one of his songs. I think I forgot which one of his songs, but he showed it in the documentary. He was talking about like he used to bust his ass. Like he used to make 5 beats a day for 3 summers straight. 5 beats a day.
Yeah.
For 3
The
straight
amount of
summers.
weight. Yeah, I
But
get
you know
you.
how you know how hard you gotta fucking go to make 5 beats a day for 3
laser
summers, and then
focus.
that's when like you're considered like, oh, he's good.
Yeah. He's
Like,
good.
that's like
Claro.
that's the level of mastery and like
Yeah.
repetition you gotta
Yeah,
like and love you gotta have for
pero
it.
vuelvo y te digo, and a lot of those artists, thankfully, they did that before social media even existed.
Yeah.
Like I feel like nowadays everyone wants to document everything from day one of like, oh, I came up from the ground up. I'm like, that's cool, but actually do the work. Don't
Yeah.
act like you're doing the work, haz la foto, and then you're not doing anything. It's
Also,
like,
he wouldn't put it out if his boy wasn't recording it.
Yeah.
that's the other thing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he was doing the work and someone else was filming.
His boy was
Yeah.
like, yo, film me. He's like, all right, cool. Like, he
guess.
wasn't even like worried about that. Yeah.
Pero por eso te digo que también it takes laser focus.
Yeah.
Yo mismo, I love social media, but I have a huge battle with it. Porque a veces como que, bro, I want to be focusing on other things. And sometimes you're just sitting there and it's you gastas el tiempo. And you're just there and you're like, I should be doing something else. We all have unfinished projects that we want to work on.
Yeah.
Yeah, a veces it's literally just like that discipline of like, no, I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
I opened Threads, I was on it for like 5 minutes. I'm like, no, este es otro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Esto me va a olvidar más que
right
más.
now.
Yo,
Otro agujero negro ahí.
Literal. So it's,
And
you
they
know,
just updated
again,
it
I'm
too, so
not,
now I gotta learn that.
Yeah.
I'm not bashing social media, pero sí
Yeah.
es como que it's a blessing, but it could also be a distraction. You know, if you're not using it for the right reasons. I'm a huge proponent of that, y yo hablo mucho de mental health también, y como que what you consume visually, what you listen to, what you see, all that affects you.
yes.
Sí.
So if you're all day lo que estás viendo es culo y carro y and people, sorry.
No,
That's what your life is gonna
Yeah.
take.
Yeah.
And it's versus I've switched from the people I follow, and I follow like financial advisors, I
Yeah.
follow mentors, I
Same.
follow
We're talking about that. We're
because
like,
I changed my
curate
mindset.
your,
Right, curate what you're consuming.
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
like you have the power to change what like is being fed to you.
Of course, 100%.
So it's like if you're just like consuming shit, that's all you're gonna get is shit.
Yeah, literally.
No, and that's all you're gonna think, and that's all you're gonna talk about, and that's all you're ever gonna, which is,
Yeah.
to each their own. Pero uno sí dice como que, bro, no, el mundo está hecho mierda. It's like, yeah, porque la gente se han dejado consumir por la mierda. That's the reality
Shit
of it.
sells.
Yeah.
También.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy that. Well, yeah. I mean, I'd say it all the time. I wouldn't do anything else. Like I wouldn't change what I do for a living ever.
Sí, no, es muy divertido, es muy dinámico también,
Yeah.
o sea, ya que llevo también varios años en como project management, como que cada producto, cada artista es como un reto distinto, uno conoce gente nueva,
Claro.
entonces es como, yo siento que no me he aburrido ni un día.
And I think that was a cool segue to something you guys were dying to talk
Yes.
about.
I was gonna ask you, ¿cómo es como trabajar con estos artistas así como super global, Britiago y Coscuyel?
Like, ¿has tenido un momento de, like,
Even like
starstruck?
the new up and coming, like
Básicamente,
Alejo,
yeah.
Yeah.
seguro.
Have you had, like, your starstruck moment? Or have you always just...
I mean, you always do. I feel like once we all have our like Juli's a huge like if Taylor Swift walks through that door, she's gonna like
God.
go
Go
pale
crazy,
and
yeah.
faint. Like,
Literal.
Did you see
know,
the fact about her tour?
Yeah,
¿Qué
That
tal?
it shot up the economy.
$1.5 billion, something like that. That's
Crazy.
insane.
It's-
That her tour has like injected like $4 billion into the US economy.
Wow.
In
Between,
hotel
like,
bookings.
hotels and flights
Holy
and food.
shit.
Yeah,
Yes, bro.
That's crazy.
Insane. Ese
So-
es el negocio más exitoso
See,
de la
I
música
feel like
que ha habido.
nobody that works in this industry like that has been doing it for a long time can say that they're not a fan of this. Like this isn't a typical job. Like this isn't like working at a bank or working at this.
Yeah.
You have to love this because it's really hard, man. And it's stressful, and you're dealing with people every day and egos, and y es como que si no te encanta esto, you'll literally like just quit every single day and be like, me voy a hacer otra cosa.
Yeah.
And
No, y Coscuyuela y Bratiago obviamente son nombres que uno ha crecido con ellos,
Right.
entonces ha sido súper chévere como poder
Not- right.
conocerlos.
Now,
like
no.
full
When I
circle?
started, I was super like, when I started at Warner, I started like in a major label.
Yeah.
So I was surrounded, que si Maná and all these big artists. And I was like, bro, I never in my wildest dreams thought that the people I grew up listening to, I was going to see them.
Es como un imposter syndrome.
And then, right. And then as you grow, you're like, these are normal people just like us. They're just doing their job.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that artists, para los fans que están por ahí, artists prefer that you treat them as humans versus, oh my God. I mean, which it's normal that you react like that. It's someone that you're a fan of y todo. Pero artists prefer to just be treated as people. To you ask them how their day was. What are you up to? Like, no todos van a contestarte, pero they prefer that 100% versus like, oh my God, dame una foto. I manage CNCO. So they're like a massive fan base in Latin America. Y una de las cosas que yo veía siempre era como que mitad de las veces solo querían la foto y ni hablar con la gente. Era como que foto y vamos.
Like, give me the transaction. Like, I want to show that I met you.
I want to show people that I met you, but I didn't really talk to you.
I'm trying to get some likes on Instagram.
100%.
Yeah.
And it's not bashing it, which it's totally normal. Pero it's like, yo lo digo todo el tiempo. I've worked with a ton of artists, and I don't have that many pictures with the artists I work with. Yeah. Porque no es que me da pena. Es que I'd rather just be like, bro, I'd rather them...
We're cool. Like,
I'd rather them be my friends and hang out and talk to them as normal people than be like, oh, estuve con tal persona. Look at my... Like, I only post pictures when I sign an artist to be like, yo, we brought him to the team. Pero para mí, early on, I guess because I hung out with my uncle when I was little... I learned that these guys are people too, that they have their problems, that también tienen sus personal issues, que están cansados a veces, they're not always on their 100% game, pero the ones that are at the higher levels get better at dealing with that. Right. Because at the end of the day, it is part of the job. Y sí se le debe a los fans un cariño porque they're the ones that put you where you are.
Total.
But back to your question of working with artists like that, like I think all the artists, we've been really lucky that all the artists we work with are super cool people.
Sí.
Tanto los artistas como que son
equipos.
equipo. Sí. We really feel like it's a family thing. And that's how we like to work. Porque cuando hay roce, it's not good for anybody.
Yeah.
Sí, exacto.
This is more, it's a day-to-day job. It's not like it's not like other businesses donde es como que es un cliente and you're just buying or selling to them. You're dealing with human beings.
Yeah. Right.
That's the product. It's
Algo
like
que Chris te dice mucho que me encanta, que es muy cierto, es como dating.
Yeah.
Es como si hay feeling con el
Chemistry,
equipo, con el artista,
right.
chemistry, las cosas fluyen. Si no, pues...
and it's 100%
se pone raro la cosa.
100% true.
No fluye mucho, es como dating.
¿Ha pasado? Que se pone,
sí, claro, ha pasado.
Que se pone raro las cosas y...
Sí, claro.
Oh, yeah, and it's normal. Like, sometimes it's just the way we work versus how the artist is used to working. They don't sync up, and there's nothing wrong with that. Es normal, and we try that when relationships are working, we're as honest as possible. It's like, mira, no es que it's not that it's necessarily a problem on either side. It's just for whatever reason we're not syncing.
Sí, como, cool. Y también es como que sí, cada proyecto es distinto, está en diferentes etapas. De pronto lo que nosotros estamos ofreciendo no es lo que ellos necesitaban justo en ese momento, viceversa. Entonces puede que en este momento no, pero a futuro hemos tenido muchos casos que también han vuelto a trabajar con nosotros.
Porque ya están en otro momento de su carrera. Like, it's super,
sí,
es bien normal eso.
Sí.
Entonces eso es parte del trabajo, es también saber manejar esas cosas and like, but yeah, like when it works y hay química and there's teamwork, it's amazing.
Sí.
Porque you see the difference and uno se lo disfruta mucho más because you get
y las cosas fluyen.
Claro.
Ahorita estamos con lo de la guerra con Cuyuela y Residente.
We're gonna get into
I knew it. I was like, I tried to bring it in here ahorita. I was like, not the moment.
I asked him, I was like, yo, is there anything we can't talk about? He's like, oh, no. And in my head, I'm like, good. I was like, we got something.
Pero
that's the green light.
Obviously, we're Team Koku because he signed to us. But like, the minute anything happens with anyone, like me, at least me and Juli, we're like 100% enjoy it. We're like, bro, did he just see what happened? Like, we're obviously doing the work behind the scenes, but we're also enjoying it, bro. Like, I was up, Koku launched, he was literally writing the tiraera like over the weekend, and I was up till 3 a.m. waiting for him to send me this file to upload it to YouTube. Like, that was this weekend was in real time.
Yeah.
Y yo diciendo, like, Juli, va a tirar. Oh my God, ya tengo la canción. Let's do like, it was all- and you enjoy it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
al final del día, you know, para público también es fun because everyone's talking about it.
Yeah.
But from
Sí.
behind the scenes, it's also cool to be like, damn, I was part of that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
looking
Like,
back.
I uploaded
Al final es que gana la cultura. Like,
Claro.
100%.
Like-
Y los números de ambos han subido espectacular. O sea,
Sí.
todo el mundo está
Yeah.
contento, yo
And
creo.
people are talking, and something that people are talking about the music again, and like
Sí.
about lo que uno dijo versus lo que el otro y el contexto.
Yeah.
And one of the things I love about tiraderas is the history of what they're like the bars.
Oh, true, yeah.
Of, like the bars are very specific to things. Y obviamente son dos raperos that are in their, you know,
yeah, they're very
Like
they're
ladder.
they're in
really
their
like,
prides.
yeah.
Y cada cual tiene su estilo, pero es como que, damn, escuchaste lo que dijiste, eso lo dijo. Yesterday I
Yeah.
spent an hour explaining to one of our marketing people que no conocía lo del beef. I was like, this started 15 years ago. Like,
Yeah, yeah, like a PowerPoint.
it
Like,
started- I was like, this started at a party, que uno le dijo al otro esto, y desde entonces se odian, pero por el otro no podían decir nada. Like, it's a whole...
no, yeah,
It's
no.
crazy.
It's like a story, you know.
For the culture,
Yeah.
the same thing. Like I love the Drake Pusha T beat, like
Yeah.
all those beats, because it's part of this.
Yeah.
Right.
At the end of the day, one of the things, one of the like I follow Ray Daniels. I don't know if he's like a big time like hip hop like
Okay.
manager and stuff like that. And he says that at the end of the day, this is the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
So obviously the music is a part of it, but especially in like urban like hip hop, reggaeton, the culture is also a really big part of it against like other even salsa. Like I'm a huge salsa head, and to know the stories of like back in the day que se peleaban y se robaban los músicos uno al otro and they
Really?
dissed each other. Yeah, bro.
What?
Hell
I didn't know
yeah.
about the salsa beef.
Hell yeah.
The salsa beat.
Salsa, bro, the salsa days were just as
Yeah,
rough
yeah,
as the
yeah. They
reggaeton
used to
days.
just hide
Like
it a little bit more.
crazy.
I'm gonna your saxophone.
Subliminal side.
For real, it's like, no, me tumbaste pongo cero, quítate tú para ponerme yo. It's this track, bro, 100%. Like, straight up.
Yeah.
It's like saying I did, you know, I was there, like,
Yeah.
that culture of being like a
Like
nerd
the alpha,
on that.
like the
For sure.
it's like be like the chase for being like the top one. It makes
Right.
it exciting.
Sí, claro, y que pasa en todos los géneros
Sí.
también. En los vallenatos pasa, like, when, I mean, uno que trabaja en la industria, you obviously find out about more things from behind the scenes. But at least me as a fan, any genre, like, I'm a big, like, data nerd or, like, history nerd. So I love finding out about beefs between artists,
Yeah.
okay, esta canción se la escribió por el otro,
Yeah.
que pasó esto. So it's part of what makes I think the
Better.
culture so cool.
No, we're definitely Team Coscu, by the way.
I am, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Coscuial es uno de mis favoritos.
That's
desde
all.
ese
Yes.
chamaco.
Sí.
Es que I love, I mean, I'm a fan of Calle 13 y todo también, but I just love that Coscu's such a bully, bro. Like,
Yeah.
he's so good at, like, metiendo el dedo en la llaga, like, yo.
I also like the beef between them because it's a funny beef.
Sí.
Right.
It's not like like it's serious, but like they do like. Se tiran-
Sí, se tiran,
Yeah.
se tiran, los dos tiraron paquetes como que, bro, we know that's not what's going on, but I
Yeah.
love that you said it. It's like,
For the
no,
culture, basically.
But Koku, bro, I say that for me, it's like, obviously, I've been working with Koku since like 2015 when I worked at Warner.
What?
That's where I met his team, and,
Yeah.
and it's just, they're like my family, bro.
Yeah.
Like, that's my family. And
Dracula
it's,
boy.
it's very funny because that's his personality, that's how they just are in person too. Son jodedores, o sea,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
es que they're mean people, it's just they're bullies
sí.
porque son
That's just how they
jodedores de la
are,
vida.
yeah.
Yeah, that's like the Cuban uncle at the get together.
Yeah.
Like, he's just like
He messing with everybody.
Say some wild shit.
Yeah.
That's how he is.
Yeah.
Se va a tirar por ser chistoso, te dice
Yeah,
la
yeah,
mierda and he's so good at it.
Yeah,
que es
yeah,
como que, bro, I mean, olvídate que si la métrica y la mierda, like,
Yeah.
he fucking, like, what he said he said it in a
Yeah.
way that you're like, bro, I
Sí,
can't
sí.
La
say that.
misma era con Anuel.
Yeah.
Bro.
Residentes always en tiraderas, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's- yo-
that video he did with the priest from I think he's from Money Heist. No, not Money Heist.
Oh, but yeah, he's a Javier Cámara. He's
There
like a
we go.
big time Spanish
Yeah.
actor.
Bro,
He's like in everything.
That was hard, bro.
Yeah,
I was
I'm
like,
Team Koku, and
Yeah.
I respected that. I was
Yeah,
like, that's
I was
dope.
like,
That's
yes.
art. That's artistry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pero, you know, al final del día uno somos, that's...
Yeah.
You backing people, bro.
Yeah.
Claro, claro.
His bars
Pero
to me
como
is
tú
like...
dices,
Yeah.
the bars, the delivery, the bullying, like the whole,
Sí.
el intro ese, like the whole prayer thing, it's like, bro, this guy's a villain. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Sí, sí,
It
sí.
does look like villain too.
It's like the Joker vibes, you know?
Yeah.
Yo me lo imagino así como un duende así, todo
¿Cómo se llama?
burlón, pero le
Eso es
funciona.
Drácula
That
boy.
Dracula boy. Yeah. Dracula boy. The vampire.
So it's not like
Chistoso.
okay, so good. So I was like, because that was one of my questions. Is like, does it get like when like tiradera here? So is it like a stressful time? Like, oh shit, like what's about to happen? But it's
I
good
mean,
to know that
it
you guys-
is in terms of us. We are reacting in
¿Por
real
qué se te
time.
parece
Exacto.
residente aquí?
Yeah.
We're, le doy la mano,
Can't
¿qué va a hacer?
take- get a microphone.
But it is stressful in the
Exacto.
sense that we, in those
Toca reaccionar
cases,
muy
like
rápido.
last year when it started happening, when they started tirándose por redes, we're like, oh shit, this is gonna turn. No, it never gets ugly to the level where something bad actually happens.
Yeah.
Not like it is
Finales-
back in the days. Like,
Sí, no, back in the day,
Yeah.
those were actual
Yeah,
like
like
scary
beef,
beefs. Hoy día es todo for fun y para que la gente se divierta, pero sí, para nosotros es como que we have to react in real time
Sí.
because we didn't know what was going on.
Claro.
We knew that obviously when René announced he was gonna throw something, we're like, Goku va a tirar en algún momento.
Yeah.
And I know he was gonna react fast porque
Yeah,
I
tú lo
was talking
conoces.
to his team in real time y lo conozco. Y digo, this weekend va a tirar sí o sí.
Sí.
And then we're like, no, vamos a tirar 2 canciones. And I'm like, holy shit.
You're like got a long
Like,
day.
literally, bro. On Sunday, I went to sleep like at 4 in the, like Monday, ahorita at 4 in the morning, porque we threw the first one. He's like, estoy terminando la segunda para dártela para subirla también. I'm like, all right, here we go. Aprieta el botón.
Boy,
It's like,
That's crazy.
My boy sleeps in the couch.
Yeah,
Waiting.
yeah, bro.
as soon as Residente hits the other one, it's
So
double.
it's part of it, and now it's like, okay, si va a tirar, hay que contestar rápido. Like, it's
Sí.
part of the culture, and it's fun.
Yeah,
Es parte
yeah.
de... Hoy día con internet también es mucho más rápido todo. The producer was in Orlando, and Coscu was recording in Puerto Rico. O sea, aquí estoy dando un poco behind the scenes, pero es que... Okay, Coscu grabó, se lo mandó al productor para que mezcle y todo, y él te lo va a mandar a ti. And I was like, I was refreshing my email. I'm like, let's go.
Wait. That's
You have like
crazy.
the alerts, just like the notification.
Literally, bro. I was like on my laptop, like waiting for that email. As soon as it came in, I was like, monta el video y súbelo a YouTube.
That's crazy. Like, that's how fast the industry moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sí.
In real time.
Yeah. Because to us, it's like we're like, oh, it's moving fast because like we're spectators. Pero ustedes que están adentro,
In the
right, you
actual
guys know,
thing.
like, yo,
No, and like us, not only us, like we have a whole team behind us.
Sí.
Que, o sea, the songs, las tiradas se subieron el domingo on YouTube. On Monday, we were already on Spotify. Like they got us on a playlist immediately. Like that real time work is something that 1RPM, at least our team that backs us, is very good at that too.
Sí.
Que todos estamos like, okay, this
On top.
happened, we weren't expecting it.
Yeah.
It wasn't part of what we were gonna do, but let's do what we know how to do.
Right.
And you know, empezamos a hacer todo. So it's part of it. Like obviously we have our planned releases and stuff like that.
Exacto.
Pero estas cositas así que salen de la nada, we
Sí.
enjoy them
Yeah,
too,
it's fun.
porque es como que te pone la adrenalina. Like, all right, let's see what happens now. Que si los streams. Like yesterday, we saw we're like trending 1 and 2 in the world, and I was like, bro.
Yeah.
and seeing the numbers just like,
Sin
Oh,
cero,
yeah,
sin
so
cero
true.
marketing plans,
Sí.
like all of it was just the hype of what was going on, and
una
it's like,
tiradera is like a marketing agency's like dream. Like, yeah,
literally.
Yeah,
Honestly,
literally.
sí.
yeah. Because you're like, yo, we're about to run this up. No budget on this.
At all.
No, it's great. It's cool. So yeah, man. Ahí shout out a todo el mundo. I love to a cappella through también.
Sí,
Viernes
estuvo
Neca
buenísimo
Profeta.
eso.
Like everyone's been
Yeah.
just adding their
Sí.
little 2 cents to what's going on. And it's cool porque
Sí.
if you follow the culture, de la cultura del reggaetón, de eso viene desde... That's how you prove yourself.
Yeah.
That's how you prove yourself. Al final del día es como que, ok, tú me tiraste, te contesto con lo mejor que ellos hacer.
Yeah.
Al final del día, o sea, todos no es que van a ser friends, but it's not gonna go further than that.
Yeah.
O sea, maybe se queda aquí, maybe siguen, pero al final van a seguir sacando música comercial. Everyone's gonna keep doing their thing.
And you're both gonna benefit because everybody's gonna be
But
listening
it
and
is
watching.
like it's like that hype of when you see boxers, that you see them training and
Sí.
training and training, and then you see the big night, and you're like, oh, mío ganó. Like, you know.
You know, it's like the Showtime specials when they used to do like the,
Right.
the
Oh,
documentary.
Right,
That's what it is.
the 50, whatever they call
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, you're like seeing all the hype of when
Yeah,
they're training and
the
talking
training.
shit. That's part
Like
of it, bro.
Like the super intense like interviews before.
I love
You're
those.
like, yeah, this better be fire. You buy the pay-per-view right there.
Bueno, ahí toco un poco a lo que iba antes, que that's what I, not necessarily about tiraderas, pero that's what I like about this working in music is that you get to do special moments where like this is what we're living.
Yeah.
Va a quedar marcado en la historia del género urbano. Cuando Coscu y Residente se tiraron un año, like this is little blips of where like of all the stuff that was going on. No se le va a olvidar a la gente.
Del año, sí.
That's you're a part of history.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's almost even cooler is that like maybe like to the general public, they don't know you're part of history, but you know like
Right.
like yo like I'm picturing in my head like 50 years from now telling your grandkids like yo
Like,
let me tell you a story about it's like yo I was there.
Yeah.
I had a
I was
hand
the
in
one,
it.
I was the one who pressed publish.
I put the video public, and I was adding the tags at 4 a.m. Like, that was me. No.
That's dope though.
No, but it's part of the job. Y creo que sí. I mean, it's.
Sí.
I think those stories too. One of my best friends, the guy was Amy Winehouse's engineer, bro, and that guy is
nuts.
one of the humblest people in the world. Y todos tenemos like cool stories where you could be like, oh, yo estuve
Sí.
con tal artista cuando pasó esto. Like it's a fun,
Yeah,
you know,
comes
como
with
tú
it,
dices,
yeah.
like the fans see it de una manera.
Yo filtré tal canción.
Yeah.
Like when I was working in managing CNCO, my favorite like place to see the show was like behind the soundboard, like atrás, like because you get to see everything that's going on. You're like, bro, look at all the fucking work that these kids and that the whole team put together. And I get to see it as a fan too, and be like, this is what we're doing every single day.
How was that like being like a manager?
Yeah.
'Cause- So the role of an A&R, like the typical role is like you're dealing with the artist's like what, like deals, like
So
are you managing them day to day?
So no, at least in 1 RPM, obviamente the first step is the negotiation. Ya sea que, because I deal with artists where we don't necessarily give them advances or money or anything like that. It's kind of like a service deal.
Yeah.
Like we give them services, but they pay for everything. Because that's how, you know, we sometimes just do distribution, pero le damos toda la parte de los servicios, de mira, vamos a hacer esto así, así, así. That's the first step, deciphering how you're going to work with the artist and deciphering the negotiation. But a big part of what goes on with the artist, at least how we work here, is on the artist side. Like we're focused more on specifically the music y todo. When I was a manager, estaba a cargo de todo. I think that experience also helped me understand not only the artist perspective of when I'm dealing with them from my side as an A&R and from a label, knowing what they're going through. Like if I know that the artist is on tour, it's gonna be very hard to get them to do interviews or que te atiendan una llamada, cosas así.
Claro.
Porque I was there and I lived that where it's like, bro, we haven't slept for 2 days straight. Like you think the artist is gonna do an interview? Like, So ese contexto me ayudó en la parte de management, pero sí es mucho. I mean, you're literally dealing with. It's 24/7. At least with them, I didn't know the difference between a Monday and a Wednesday. Like it was
Every single day is
Same.
It was working and it was a beautiful experience y poder viajar el mundo y más que eso nada, like aprender de cultura around the world. Porque I feel like especially in Miami is it's a very strange musical consumption market porque es muy
poquito de todo.
aquí hay de todo.
Yeah.
And maybe it's more like for certain genres no se consumen, like rock and other things no se consumen tanto acá, at least in the Latin end.
Yeah.
So, pero baja a México, por ejemplo, Argentina.
Argentina son bien
donde
rockeros.
ahí es otro tipo de mundo and you're like, bro, this is like, it's, in general, it's good to travel and kind of, pero when you work in the industry, te das cuenta también, como que like, there's so much more out there than just what you see here.
Sí.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, que touring también debe ser más, bueno, depende del artista, me imagino que depende un poco del artista, pero más como tiempo de bonding, de calidad, conocerlos en otro level, más personal, ¿no? Porque uno está todo el día con ellos.
Touring, y por ejemplo, cuando yo trabajaba en Warner, I would go on like promo tours with them. So we would go to New York and, you know, we'd go do an album tour. Antes todavía se hace, pero it was like, I was traveling with the artist for a week. I was with them 24/7 desde que nos levantábamos a prensa, esto, lo otro. So yeah, you got to know the artist on a personal level. Y ahí es cuando te das cuenta, like, bro, these are people just like
us.
and this is their job. Y como que a veces uno mismo decía como que, coño, está cabrón que te metas todo un día haciendo entrevistas and doing all these things, and then you're trying to have a nice dinner tranquilo y te están jodiendo para fotos y para cosas y grabándote. And it's part of the job, obviamente, pero sí, como que tú dices, I get why some artists don't like that because I've lived that. You know, being next to the artist. So
Te
yeah,
cogen
it's
en
crazy.
public como a Messi.
But let me tell you, bro, I props to Messi porque ese tipo donde lo cogen, like, se toma la foto y abraza y nunca le dice que no. Like, that's
I've never heard
impressive.
of that
Hasta en su
story.
casa. Hasta en su casa. Like,
Bro.
I saw some kids that pull up in the boat.
Yeah, right. And he was like on the dock, like, yo, what's up? Like, that's
¿Tú te
crazy.
imaginas cuánta gente van a ir ahora para
No, bro.
That's crazy.
Se reveló.
I mean, I don't think he's ready for how crazy Miami
no
gets.
conoce Miami,
Yeah.
Like, se va a poner como Nicky Beach ahí todo el mundo.
Everyone's gonna meet up there.
Everyone's just gonna show up to Messi's house and be like, yo, party in your pool.
Like,
Like,
they're gonna put the anchors down there and just chill there.
vibe.
Wait, he comes out.
There's a bunch of 20 drones around.
yeah, literally. No, pero props to him, bro. Like, that's
Yeah.
super dope. Que tipo, bro, that when I saw him in Publix just chilling with his family, I'm like, yo, this guy's like, no wonder everybody loves him, bro.
Yeah.
That's the coolest
I've never
guy
heard a
ever.
bad story of like
Same.
something like a
him
fan being like, oh, he was an asshole.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you never heard that. That's rare.
Yeah.
For somebody of his level.
Of his
like,
caliber,
yeah.
yeah.
So that's pretty dope. Pero así hay muchos artistas también, bro, que son muy humildes.
Sí.
And it's funny, hay muchos artistas también que their artist persona and their real persona are very different. like polar different.
Yeah.
Como que son quizás como artistas, they're like all hype and all that, and behind the scenes son calladitos, tranquilitos, like very. So it's pretty crazy.
O viceversa, ¿no?
And to see, huh?
Vice versa.
And vice versa too. Sí, a veces son al revés que they just know how to make that switch.
Yeah.
Y hay otros que no, que how you see them is how they
Sí,
really
sí.
are.
Yeah.
Y creo que hoy con las redes pues se ve un poco más esa transparencia, pero sí, es como, it's kind of cool to see that too. And impressive to see how like artists are able to do that switch of like, oh, or even when I was with the guys, like we were doing interviews and stuff, y no dormíamos y nada, but when it was showtime, bro, they were on. Like
ready,
they would not miss, and that was their
That's fucking crazy.
moment to shine. And I was like, no importa lo molesto que estaban or how tired or whatever was going on, when that show starts, bro, they were fucking in it, and that was impressive to me. Look.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
I was say we got a little taste of that with the live show that we did, but I was like, cause we did a live show of like 70 people. And that was like our first time ever doing something like in front of people. So we're like, oh shit, like.
Yeah, bro. I was so
But
nervous.
when we were up there, it was like, yo, like the adrenaline you get is crazy. So imagine like at that level where they're going around the world,
Right.
sold out stadium. It's like even if you're tired, I feel like the adrenaline you get is just like.
Claro.
Sí,
And imagine how tired you get after.
Yeah, I know.
Because we were done after.
I was like,
So imagine them when they're like dancing. Oh my god.
Pero mira, a big otra cosa que me enseñó eso, which is something what I love working at 1 RPM is it's a family, bro. It's a team. When you're up there and you've been doing 30 shows and you trust the people that are there with you, you're like, bro, we're gonna kill it because we've killed it
multiple times.
the other
Sí.
29 times that we did this. Y maybe cada vez hay algo diferente, pero you adjust and you know that, you know, who's doing what. Acá trabajamos igual.
Sí.
Like I know when we get last minute releases, como lo de Coco, por ejemplo, que I told our DSP person, oh yeah, we have this going on. Bro, she delivered
Sí.
like immediately.
De
And
una,
that's
que hay que
super
hacer.
dope to have that trust in your team. De como que I know that if I bring this to the table, it's because we can handle it. And if we're gonna deal with this, yeah, a veces se lo digo like to our marketing people and stuff. It's like, look, we have this artist. It's up to you guys. You know, it's kind of tricky.
Sí.
If let's try it out. Si no funciona, I get it. No pasa nada. Like, it's part of it. We don't. Yo, at least as an A&R, I'm very cautious about that too. Not bringing stuff to the table that I know is gonna like be a burden to everybody. You know, tirándole la mano a ningún artista ni nada. It's just that sometimes projects are either a lot bigger than what we're used to, o vienen o quieren unas expectativas de ciertas cosas que es like no podemos llegar a eso with how we work. You know, so that también como que ese tacto de saber like this is worth it, this isn't, or let's try this one. Sometimes we try things that we think are gonna work and they don't. Other times artists that we didn't know what was gonna happen, de la nada. They're
It's
super
just- yeah.
successful and we're like, all right, cool. Like,
I guess. Are you guys ever scared on taking on artists? Like for example, like let's say a maleanteo type of genre, where like like the stuff they
What
talk
they
about,
bring.
it's like real. Cause you said like the stuff that sells is usually tiradera.
Tiradera, yeah.
Like beats.
Yeah, like
My
by the
Spanish.
way, you don't pronounce the D. It's
tiraera.
Tiradera.
See, I was wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Why you listening to me,
But
bro?
Like even
But,
René does it in
yeah.
the video
Yeah.
that the preset is like tiraera without the
Yeah.
D. That's like the street name for
Yeah.
it.
But yeah, basically like the young chimis or that type of genre. You guys ever scared of taking on like those?
I feel like because that might come like those type of artists might come with more not baggage but like
Yeah, definitely
more
baggage.
responsibilities.
Yeah,
Yo
Just
no
because of,
diría,
like, the
no
the
diría
game.
tanto que por el género, sino más exacto por la responsabilidad, como que son proyectos grandes, artistas como que ya grandes que uno dice como que
Like,
fuck,
oh,
como
yeah,
que
yeah,
we
yeah.
need to deliver.
Yeah, exactly, literally.
But I think that adrenaline también es como it's motivating.
Sí,
Porque
total.
we've taken on projects where like, yo, we know this is a challenge, but let's do it. Like
Exacto.
let's give it our all and let's see what we can do with this. Porque también es como cualquier trabajo, llega un punto que es como que you don't want it to become monótono where you're just doing kind of like the same thing all the time.
Sí.
I think that's the fun part of what we do. Like literally every day,
It's different.
different artists walk through the door and we're like, oh shit, like I wasn't expecting that one. Let's go for it, you know?
Sí. Sí, no, definitivamente está obviamente la presión de hacer un buen trabajo,
Claro.
De que los artistas estén contentos, cada proyecto tiene sus características, sus desafíos, pero es como un poco entender que cuando estamos on board con un artista es como que a fondo, o sea, somos parte del equipo. A veces yo siento que hay como una percepción de que yo soy el artista y ustedes son el sello y es como que
You
ustedes
do your job
Sí.
and I do my
que
part.
están haciendo por mí, un poco esa como
Right.
esa actitud que no siento que sea como tan constructiva, es como entender que estamos aquí, we're all in this together,
Yeah,
literal, estamos en este mismo barco y acá su éxito es nuestro éxito
Claro.
y queremos es trabajar para el pro de ustedes, para que estén contentos y para crecer juntos, esa es la idea. Entonces, cuando se entiende un poco eso, se tiene esa actitud y podemos jugar ping pong, ahí
Right.
la
Yeah.
cosa...
Sí, o sea, la comunicación es
La
clave,
cosa
como dijo
fluye.
Juli, uno ser transparente, bro. A veces uno la caga and shit happened that you weren't expecting
Exacto.
and not hide it. It's like, look, this is what happened. And y a veces, yeah, you have to be careful what you explain para no.
Sí.
Pero we're not shy about that. Y yo por lo
Exacto.
menos me he dado cuenta, the more you practice, at least me as an A&R, the more I practice that of being honest and be like, yo,
Sí,
Open.
total.
this is what happened, but we're gonna fix it. Like, yes. Que es lo que decimos todo el tiempo. It's like, olvídate de quién es la culpa, let's solve it, and then figure out what happened so it doesn't happen again. That's part of the job, 100%. And I think, you know, in my experience in different teams, a veces esa fricción se crea porque pasa eso. Porque
Es-
no se
sí.
explica, como
No,
que se deja en el
exacto.
aire o se apunta el dedo de que no, eso no fuimos nosotros, no sé qué pasó.
You waste time, you waste energy on the.
And then everyone's frustrated because no one knew what happened, and instead of solving it, they're just mad at the problem.
Y la transparencia no solo como en cuando alguien la cague, pues,
lo
sino,
bueno
sino la transparencia también en lo que el artista quiere, en lo
Right.
que, en lo
Sí.
cuáles son los objetivos, qué es lo
Sí.
que ambiciona, porque muchas veces nosotros hacemos el approach de un proyecto, proponemos unas cosas que de pronto el artista no se siente tan cómodo y entonces no nos dicen, pero entonces no lo hace y nosotros
Right.
nos quedamos esperando como
Sí.
que, oye, pero ¿por qué no lo hiciste?
Sí.
Entonces esa parte de la transparencia, la comunicación, ¿qué estoy dispuesto a hacer?
Mi-
Nosotros, ¿qué somos? Hasta aquí llegamos nosotros, mira, esto es lo que podemos hacer por ti, ¿te suena? No, esto sí, esto no, esa parte también, de todo el tema de la comunicación
Sí.
y de esa transparencia es súper
Mi jefe
importante.
me lo dice mucho. Dice, cuando estás hablando con un artista nuevo, listen more than you talk. Porque a
Sí.
veces, o sea, es como si alguien fuera un dealer de carro, y esta es la analogía que usa él, y lo que quieren es un minivan, pero tú le quieres vender un Mustang convertible. It's like, I don't want a Mustang, I want a
Exacto.
minivan. Like, I'm trying to sell me a Mustang.
Yeah.
No,
Pero tú
total.
dices, no, el Mustang esto, que si el caballaje, que si el techo, que si el color. Y it's like, but I want a minivan, bro.
I got a
Yeah.
family, bro.
I got 2 kids. Like, I don't know where I'm going to put them in a Mustang.
Oh my god.
That's how we are with the podcast. Like how you said earlier, like I talk a lot. Like we like that. 'Cause
Right.
We want you
Yeah.
guys to. We had you on for a reason, like
Yeah,
to
and-
share your message and
They,
talk
like,
about
like
business.
when Cristi was like, oh, like these are the people like that we have in mind. We're like, like amazing.
do it, right?
Yeah.
Because we generally like we have like our curiosity is what like makes us
Of course.
like big fans of just not just the podcasting space, like the music industry. But like we want to understand.
Of course.
So like that's like I guess our biggest like motivation and like
fuel.
I guess fuel to
yeah.
fuel to like get to know who we're interviewing. Because
Right.
at the end of the day, it's like just like how the listener is getting to know you guys, so are we.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Like this, we literally just met out like an hour, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be honest. For the last 20 minutes, I didn't even feel like we were on a podcast. Or we're just like literally talking, bro.
We love when people
biggest
say it. That's the
compliment you
biggest
can get.
I
compliment.
forget. I know the camera's there, but
Yeah.
I'm like straight
Yeah.
up just having like
Yeah,
a
you
straight up
forget
the
conversation.
camera,
It's
No,
stuff.
that's
That's like
exactly
literally our
what we're
biggest
going for.
compliment.
So
Yeah,
thank-
always.
So that's dope too, and you know, aquí es como todo, bro. Like we're people too. We got la gente se cree que, oh, you work at a label or an artista, and it's like it's not all glamorous like all the time. Like I think it's glamorous maybe like 10% of the time. The rest of the time we're like
So you're
pulling our
stressed,
hair, like,
yeah.
wow.
No, and even just that, like we've talked to artists like kind of behind the scenes, like off camera too sometimes, and they've been like, yo, like people think like I've been balling this whole time, like yo estaba jodido, like I'm like bro, like being transparent, like what you see sometimes like on social media is just not like the situation at all.
Right.
Yes.
Which is, I think, a big disconnect of why a lot of artists struggle sometimes. Porque se enfocan tanto en la apariencia
Looks.
que they forget to show people who they are.
Yeah.
To connect o que quieren hacer la misma música que ya está sonando por ahí porque es lo que está pasando. You know, como lo de la calle y eso. You know, and I don't want to upset anybody, pero es como que hay gente que no son de la calle, but they're doing videos con los carros y el dinero y las pistolas y las cosas. And like, bro, you're from Westchester. Like, like you've never seen a gun in your life.
When A-Rod was like, yo, I'm
from the hood, from Kendall. Bro,
I was like, bro, I moved to the hood now. I get it. I'm kidding.
That became the biggest meme. Like, I have a group chat with my
That
cousins.
was one of our biggest clips.
And my dad lives in Kendall, so I'm always like, oh, I'm going to the hood to go visit my dad. And I'm like, bro.
That was one of our biggest clips. We posted a clip of that in TikTok, and we're like, bro,
this guy, bro.
So it's like, you know, consejo a los artistas, bro. If you like, figure out why you want to be an artist first. Like, because se te puede ir mucho dinero, mucho tiempo, mucha like stress y frustraciones. If you don't figure out why you wanted to be an artist in the first place, like that's, you know,
You're losing.
Ya está
you have to
perdiendo.
also like know, like you have to know your. It's like a self-discovery like experiment too.
Yeah.
Total.
Right.
Like we were talking with like one of our first ever interviews that we did like in the music space at all was, and we have a super good relationship with him now, is Gonzi, like, and
Bro,
like,
Gonzi's dope.
we're going to his album release. It's like, bro, we interviewed him when he was doing English music.
Yeah.
Like he was a rapper.
It's crazy you said that, like you've never seen Gun. Like he used to rap about that
He
type
used
of
to
stuff,
rap
and
about,
he
like,
realized.
Like and have
Yeah,
like
is
the
that
hip hop shit.
I know.
And he was like, bro, like,
I tried to sign Gonzi, and I was talking to Jay for a bit. I firmaron con un major label, and I told him, I'm like, bro, good for you. Like, you deserve to be somewhere that because you're a star. Y escuchar la música and you know who he has behind him believes in him.
That team.
And that's
Bro,
a super
his team
big
is
part
super,
of it.
like-
Of
Yeah.
course.
We're part of a music video for them, and like we've known his team. Like I went to middle school with some of the people from his team, and like so I've known him like my whole life pretty much. But like also like knowing like yo, like everyone here's busting their ass,
Right.
and him being like, you know what, like the least I could do is just be myself.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, I stopped like doing all that like rapping about like
Shit that you
Marianteo
know.
or like,
Yeah,
shit like that.
yeah.
He's like,
That's
'cause
not
that's not me,
real.
bro. Like,
Right.
Exacto.
And then after that, guess what? Skyrocketed.
Oye, ahorita mencionaste a Fade. Perdón, Juli, que te corte.
Yeah, like-
Fade dresses like the common Colombian kid. O sea, peladito, shorts, like
Bro, we talk about his branding all the time. It's
And-
super easy to do.
And what he sings is stuff that the common person can relate to.
Yeah.
Y pasa con muchos artistas, and that's why people love Bad Bunny too, porque Bad Bunny te rapea desde, sí, a veces sucio y empezó haciendo maleanteo y cosas así, but notice that he himself noticed. Bad Bunny ya no te hace un maleanteo, lo hace de vez en cuando
Sí,
for fun.
Yeah.
Pero cuando he really became the Bad Bunny he is today es porque soltó ese personaje de like street.
He talked about getting his heart broken, even though I'm pretty sure he hasn't gotten his heart broken in a minute.
Por siempre was like that
Amazing.
album. That's where he broke out of his shell and because he was vulnerable. And he was like, yo, I'm depressed. I'm this, I'm that. I'm like, yo, I related to him with that album. Porque dije, this is an artist I can relate to because he's talking about stuff that I've talked about. I didn't grow up, I don't know about guns, yo no sé de la calle. I know what it is porque obviously the artists I work with, me tengo que empapar en conocimiento, but I don't know what it's like to grow up in the hood. I didn't come from that. Tampoco estoy en los puteros todo el tiempo. Like, it's not my culture. So, me asocio con... Me as a fan, I like artists that I can relate to what they're saying.
Y
Y
yo,
creo que eso es una parte súper grande de cualquier artista.
no, yo siento también que el tema como de... Es un tema como súper fluido. O sea, yo siento que los artistas, como todas las personas, estamos en el transcurso de nuestra vida conociéndonos, y esa parte de la experimentación es algo yo creo que vital en la vida de cualquier artista,
100%.
que se encasan de hacer lo mismo, de pronto quieren experimentar con otros géneros, la misma pues Taylor Swift pasó de country a pop, ¿me entendés? Puede volver al country en 2 años, está perfecto, seguramente la seguirá rompiendo.
She's a beast, bro.
So I have that beef with Julio. I like Taylor up to her country stage. When she became pop, yeah, ahí la perdí. Like,
you like the she wears short shirts.
Yeah, yo lo digo sin miedo,
she was
bro.
spitting.
Once it did red, de red para abajo, I was like, nah.
Pero yo creo que eso es algo súper importante y algo que, o sea, me parece que es algo que súper lo encourage, que le pierdan miedo a esa experimentación.
And find your voice.
Sí, no solo desde la parte musical, sino también la parte de lo que hablamos de la creación de contenido, probar con ciertos formatos que sean diferentes a lo que han hecho toda la vida, de pronto hay algo que les funcione por ahí. Esa parte de la experimentación es parte como del self-journey, ¿no? De conocerse.
Conocerse uno y conocer la gente que te apoya. O sea, al final yo veo mucho... I know so many artists that started, o sea, empezaron cantando en barritas a 5 o 10 personas y al día de hoy esas mismas 5 o 10 personas años después todavía son fans. Porque uno dijeron, yo estuve ahí cuando no era nadie, y dos, el artista no cambió la esencia de lo que era. Obviamente llega un punto que when you get to a certain level, you have to kind of appeal to more masses than what's usual. But don't stray too much away from who you are. I have artists that as a fan, I stopped listening to because I was like, bro, like, I get you're experimenting, but you started following what everybody else was doing instead of doing what I loved you for doing.
A lot of those artists always go back to the same place they started.
100%.
Always.
100%. Which is cool. Like, yo lo veo históricamente y es algo que siempre se dice. The first album kind of defines who you, like, that's your introduction. The second album is, like, supposed to be your best
Your
album.
growth, yeah.
That's where you're like, all right, people are watching me, this is my thing. Ya de ahí para abajo, do whatever you want. But at least...
That second one, you have expectations.
And people are waiting because that first one is where they kind of figured out who you were.
Y el primero también tuvieron toda la vida para hacerlo.
Claro.
En cambio, ya el segundo, el tercero, ya es como que bueno.
Tienes un año para...
Es otra cosa que, por ejemplo, le respeto mucho a Bad Bunny y artistas de ese calibre, where it's like, they're not constantly showing you what they're doing. Like, no están como que, papi, el martes voy a sacar la canción, escúchate esto. Like, Bad Bunny comes out, he's like, oh, on Friday I'm dropping an album, and he's been working on it for a year, you know? And it's like...
Un Verano Sin Ti, I think he had been working on it like 2 years before.
But one of that goes back to what I had said of that wow factor of, like, people se impresionan porque no están viéndolo todo el tiempo.
Yeah.
Like, yo digo, los artistas que están todo el tiempo en el estudio, estoy montando... By the time the song comes out, everybody already heard it a million times, y el clip, y el hook, y el coro. So, yeah, a veces es estratégico and it's cool. Pero don't do it until you know what you're going to do with it.
También es como que you have to kind of... It's a balance of, like, showing people, like, quién tú eres with also, like, having a little bit of mystery to you.
Right.
Que that's like it's like a line you have to kind of, like, balance on.
Sí.
Pero, like, I feel like all the best artists find a way to kind of do that.
Y Bad Bunny, por ejemplo, ya está en un punto donde literalmente lo que sea que él saque, people are like, oh, like, y no es hablando mal de él, it's just... He's curated himself at that level. Okay, people respect him as an artist, and they don't necessarily go to, oh, that's a bad song, sí o no. Like, que lo van a criticar, siempre van a haber haters y todo.
Yeah.
Pero mucha gente a veces tiene más haters que fans porque empezaron al revés. They were, como pasa con lo del maleanteo que digo. I hear kids all the time que están hablando, no, que si te veo en la calle, I'm like, bro, who are you talking to? Like, nobody knows. Why you don't have haters, bro. Like, nobody knows. Who's your ops? Like, you don't know.
When we see like kids wearing like the mask, we're like, and
Like
he's
the
like,
ski
oh, my
mask?
ops, hi, my ops. Like, bro,
Like, the
who
whole
are your
point is
ops?
that people know who you are. Like,
Yeah.
if you're wearing a ski mask, nobody's gonna know
exactly.
who you are. Like, Drake can wear a mask because everybody knows who Drake is.
Yeah.
Like, Drake doesn't want people who know who
To
he is
know
when
he
he's
is,
walking
yeah.
around.
Yeah.
So, pero no, it's funny.
En un lado de project management, quería preguntarte esto, como que, ¿cuál es? Porque 1RPM, the barrier of entry es, o sea, you create an account, y después de ahí you guys figure something out.
Right.
Which is not like, in some places you have to, like, wait for people, like, go through an A&R.
Right.
Usted, like, you guys have knocked down that barrier where it's like, you have the opportunity to work with us, and based on your budget, we can figure out something for
Budget or what you're doing on your own.
Exacto.
you. También.
And our platform.
El movimiento que tienes tú.
And our
Sí.
platform itself, sin hablar con nadie, ya tiene un sinnúmero de herramientas y de cosas que you can use to your advantage to grow. Una de las cosas, lo que decía Julio de las campañas, you can do that yourself.
Yeah.
We have like a checklist of things you have to do on Instagram, on YouTube, on
Sí.
so que Julio puede entrar en detalle en eso, pero sí, es como que in our case it's different porque we're always looking for, since we're focused on the financial aspect of it. las majors no necesariamente they're looking at if it's making money or not. A veces they just get an artist porque lo quieren potenciar, pero le meten una cantidad de dinero that's going to take a really long time to get back. So for us, it's operated more as an actual business. Like, lo que entra, we have to make sure that whatever we're putting on the table, we get that money back and that the artist is making money. O sea,
por el beneficio de todos. O sea, también a los artistas no creo que les guste estar amarrados por un sinnúmero cantidad de años porque tienen que recuperar.
Right.
Poco de plata.
Que cuántos artistas se escucha históricamente no, porque la disquera me engavetó and they ruined my career and it's like because
or they got in a bad contract in the beginning
and they weren't able to get out. That happens all the time.
Sí,
We try not to do that. O sea, we try to do deals that make sense. We try to do deals que el artista entienda lo que está en lo que se está that they understand what
ustedes lo educan en el negocio.
That they understand what they're getting into and that it's a fair deal for both sides. At the end of the day, porque siempre dicen, no, la disquera está clavando al artista.
Sí,
no, it's like, it's a business, bro.
Sí.
If you don't have money and you want me to put money, it's like going to a bank and asking for a loan.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like,
he's like
you have like no leverage, basically.
Exactly.
Like, so you're taking all the risks.
I'm taking all the risks, so I want something back for the risk that I'm taking, for the work that we're putting in. We put a lot of hours into what we do. And sometimes people don't see that, and it's like, oh, 15% son mucho. And I'm like, bro, you know how much?
Actually.
You're like, 15% de $10 que tú generas al mes no paga ni media hora de salario. Like,
it's true.
What are you speaking of right now?
I'm gonna put his mic higher.
He's preaching right now.
I'm gonna start spitting like a rapper.
Pero, okay, so, vamos a decir, tú coges un artista. What does the process look like from that beginning? Like, vamos a decir que, I mean...
Like a pitch, no?
Yeah, like you guys, like, what's the next step when you guys get an artist or
Primero, entonces, bueno, le llenan los firma. Después se hace un onboarding con el artista, con el equipo del artista, dependiendo si hay un equipo de management o si es el artista solo, pues se hace el onboarding. Ese onboarding es para estar en la misma página, entender cuáles son esos objetivos, cuáles son los goles, donde si hay alguna preferencia o algún ángulo que el artista ya tenga en mente que quiere como que empezar a atacar, es para alinearnos todos y sí, como que entender esos objetivos, esos goles y cómo podemos ya en un futuro trabajar para llegar como a ellos.
Sí, it's getting into another project.
Y ya después se hace como una especie también se le pregunta cuál es el plan de lanzamientos, como que con qué viene, si viene como con sencillos, si hay planes de álbum, para nosotros tener esos long leads que desafortunadamente yo siento que no tenemos a veces lo suficiente long leads para poder aprovechar y planear como que oportunidades chéveres y se pierde mucha oportunidad por no tener como esa planeación. Entonces entre más visibilidad tengamos a largo plazo de los planes, pues mejor. No tienen que ser fechas ni cosas que estén como que escritas en piedra,
pero timeline, o sea, una
pero
estrategia.
Un timeline, exacto. Y una vez ya pues tenemos el entendimiento de eso, también se hace una especie como de diagnóstico, por ejemplo, si ya hizo el opt-in en los Facebook PNB, si está monetizando ahí no, el YouTube, si está monetizando, si hay monetizando pues bien con todas los
como un audit, como un
audit.
There's a lot of technical stuff que no se saben a veces. Yo mismo, cuando yo venía del lado del marketing más que entré y decía, yo no tenía idea de lo que era opt-in to Facebook PNB. Now I get it. That's the first thing I tell artists. Or I go into their YouTube channel. It's like, there's a difference between music video, web asset, and an audio. Like, all those different things, those micro changes make a big difference in how much money you make, and if you're making money, and if, o sea, hay artistas que entré y su canal, they didn't know that another company was claiming their audio this whole time, and they weren't making money. I was like, why does my video have 100 million views, and I'm not making any money? I'm like, bro, because Pedrito La Esquina was making money off of your music and not you. And I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, I can't. And I'm like, I can't get that money back. And I'm like, I mean, go talk to Pedrito.
Exacto, total.
I don't think so, but
I don't think he's gonna want you.
Hay muchas cosas de optimización que hacen una diferencia, una como que locura, que no están, hay que hacer como unos tweaks, optimizar bien y ya solo con eso hemos tenido casos de artistas que han doblado sus ingresos.
Literally.
¿Dónde firmamos nosotros? Please.
Please.
Si quieren con el podcast, ustedes no.
Hey, if your YouTube starts blowing up, come talk to me.
Y ya después se hace, por ejemplo, si ya tenemos como un lanzamiento, se empieza a hacer como todo el trabajo, el plan. Entonces, si es un artista que tiene audiencias desarrolladas ya en otros territorios, tocamos base con los equipos de los otros territorios para ver cómo podemos potencializar ese lanzamiento allá en ese territorio. Y muy importante, algo que muy chévere que tiene OneRPM es como el tema de los especialistas. Entonces hay especialistas en cada área principal, como YouTube. Hay especialistas en la parte de advertising,
redes sociales,
todo lo que es direct to fan.
Literally like copyright, like just people that go and
Sí.
make sure that we're that what's yours, you're making money off of it. And if someone, lo que hablé, if someone else is claiming that, we go in and we defend it and we're like, espérate, esto hay que pelearlo porque
Sí.
we get it all the time, especially with urban artists que gente random are uploading songs
So take
daily.
your beat or like those.
No,
Sí,
se piratean las canciones.
Exacto.
We came up with a concept. I mean, it's nothing novel to us, but we started doing it. That we just do sweeps of YouTube and find all these random songs de los artistas que weren't on platforms or that people had pirated. Por ejemplo, Coscu, yo encontré like 30 songs from before DSPs existed.
Wow.
That weren't on platforms and that people were just like randomly putting up on random YouTube channels.
And just making money.
Let me
off
ask you a
that.
question.
And we found a lot of those songs. We remastered them and we put them out, and people were like, "Cool, but now I can actually listen to them on Spotify."
Yeah.
You know.
Exacto.
What do you guys do con las canciones de AI, por ejemplo?
Ooh. Yeah,
We haven't really gotten into that. Ahorita, at least in terms of releases, no nos ha tocado trabajar
Sí,
con
nos ha
eso
tocado
todavía. I do
gonna be
know, like,
interesting.
since it's an open platform,
Yeah.
we do deal with a lot of like piracy. Que our team is really good at like blocking
Sí.
people uploading like random songs. Like someone tries to upload a Bad Bunny song, or they do an
Yeah,
AI with.
instantly it's gonna go down.
Sí.
It's not. Our system doesn't even let them like approve the song
Yeah.
to
Right.
go through. Like so.
Sí. Pero sí me parece un tema súper interesante y yo sí creo que la cosa va para allá. O sea, artistas ficticios, que todo generado por AI, desde la música, desde los contenidos.
La canción sabe cabrón con...
Bueno, ayer mismo Braithiago nos manda, it's trending on TikTok, que la canción del de Netflix con Bad Bunny, there's a Anuel version that doesn't exist, and it's someone just
It's
got
just AI.
Anuel's voice and put it in the song,
Onion loop.
and it's trending
It blows up.
on TikTok, and we're like, damn.
Yeah.
Now the fans are like, damn, well, that would be a good.
Pero a lo que yo, o sea, ahí, en el mundo AI los que más se van a beneficiar son los abogados. Like, you just get a really good lawyer
Sí.
to protect your shit, porque al final, if you don't want people to use your voice, they can't. If you don't
Yeah.
want people to use your image, they can't. Like,
Yeah. NIL.
there are services that let you upload your voice si tú quieres, and I know a lot of
Sí.
artists are kind of opening themselves up to that. Pero también hay otros que they're like, we don't want, I want to be the only person who releases music as me, like, you know.
Which is
Yeah.
like, which
And I respect
understand
that. Of course. It's like,
Sí.
bueno, pasó hace poco, I think it was Drake and somebody else. It was
Yes.
like a really big feature that ended up on platforms, and they took it down super quick.
Drake the
Especially
It
Drake,
was
sí.
Drake and I don't know.
The Weeknd,
who-
sí, en
It was
TikTok.
Drake
Yeah,
and
you
Lil
seen,
Nas.
you seen the Weeknd and Ariana Grande Monchi Alexandra version? That shit was crazy. Yo, that shit was fire. I'm not gonna lie.
Yesterday I found a TikTok that they get the main singer of all these famous songs, and it's Patrick from SpongeBob.
Peso Pluma.
That one, I saw that one. I'm like, that shit? Hell yeah. AI for that? I'm down.
Sí, total.
Pero, o sea, no sé, I'm very old school with that, and I don't hate on it, pero sí digo que como que
Sí, sí es como
it's like a
canciones
slippery slope.
Sí, sí es canciones que van a tener las voces de otros artistas, no. Pero si es como un artista ficticio creado todo
That
por
would be
AI,
cool, yeah.
Yeah,
bacanísimo.
that-
O
Yeah.
sea,
I think something like that happened. There was I think it was like a year ago. I remember because
Well, a label signed one of the like the Bored Ape Yacht Clubs. They signed him as an artist, and they were doing like AI songs with
with
the
the
monkey
actual
as the
ape.
artist. Yeah.
well, there was this thing that happened like
Damn, that's.
it was. I think it was like a year ago. I remember because I had started at the agency that I was at, and they were talking about like there was this fake like influencer, like
Oh, the girl.
yeah
Yeah.
that like se ha buscado problema because it's like there's somebody behind this, and like sometimes they would say like some like wow shit.
Stuff, yeah.
And it's like, and there was like a fake rapper who used like a fake AI. It wasn't AI, but it was like, it was kind of like that. It was like robotic or some shit like that. Like rapper who used the N word in a song, but the guy was white who was like obviously programming.
Yeah.
So like eso es busca problema. So it's like now with AI se va a poner interesante la cosa.
Yeah,
It's
really.
like, you don't know who's behind what.
What song?
So it's like
Well, the Grammys already said it. That like, for example, if for sorry, I have the mic down here. That for like a songwriting category, if AI wrote it, it doesn't qualify.
Yeah.
Or for like a vocalist category, if it's an AI voice, it doesn't qualify.
That's dope.
So I'm glad that already it's being picked up quickly. I mean, again, I'm not against it. Like I said, this is the entertainment industry, but I don't ever think that an AI artist is gonna replicate the euphoria of like connecting with a human being.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the genre that's probably gonna benefit the most from it is like EDM and like electronic music, just because they can get super fucking creative with what they do.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I don't know if like, you know, if you're gonna be able to jam to a rock song, maybe that the lyrics are written by AI, but like that the singer's AI. Because at the end of the day, the human connection is still a big part of what we do, and then
That's why shit blows up. It's because you connect to it.
you connect to it, and it's a person, and you like, and you feel it's that sensation of like, how are they feeling the same thing I'm feeling?
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever feel that with a robot. You know,
That's
It's
true.
like-
I mean, like, so I'll give you an example. Like, when I started in copywriting, ChatGPT had come out like 2 months after that, and everyone's like, "Yo, what's gonna happen?" Like,
right.
bro.
You're gonna lose your job.
Bro.
There's not gonna be graphic designers. Todos
Year
van a
later,
mierda.
I'm like, bro, that shit is not gonna do shit. Because, bro, we've tried it like at high levels with like expert prompt writing.
Right.
And bro, you like it doesn't make you feel shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you like
It's just
connect
generic.
to it.
Right.
It's like word vomit.
Because it could be beautifully written, but you know that a
You're
robot
like-
wrote it.
Yeah.
So it's
You're
like,
bro,
yeah.
and also it's like it uses like all these like big words that people don't really use. So you're like this is just like
Yeah.
Like I remember I was doing something and my girlfriend was like on the side, she was trying to like copy what I was doing but on ChatGPT.
Right.
And I was like, yo, like using this, like you're not gonna get people to feel anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna get people to connect with this.
Right.
Like, and it's also like it hurts my head looking at this many words because people don't talk like that.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
So it's like,
Sí, oye, que es lo que veníamos hablando desde un principio for like what artists show about themselves.
Yeah.
If all day you're just showing flashy clothes and this and that, it's like people are gonna get bored, bro, because they see every other artist doing that. Ya it's something I say all the time. Today, any 15-year-old kid can buy the same sneakers that any rapper can buy.
Yep.
You know, you could have access to the same exact things. You have kids driving Ferraris. You have, you know, ¿cuántos Lamborghini Urus hay en Miami, bro? Like, cualquier día de esto me monto y hay un guajiro haciendo Uru en una mierda de esa, bro. It's
I
like,
see the craziest chains at the wharf. You know
That's
when
what
we go
I'm
out,
saying, like,
you see the craziest chains anywhere.
now with
you know?
technology, anybody can have anything. So it's like, how do you distinct? Like, I'm dying to see a rapper that goes out there and like is repping Champion or like not what Champion now is like a hype brand,
Yeah,
but,
hype
like repping like those randomest like
Super
Kmart
era.
brand. Yeah,
That-
something like that.
and one.
I remember they used to
Bro,
sell Champion
if
at
they bring
Walmart.
and one back, fuck yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
If Champion used to be sold in
In
Walmart,
Walmart,
bro,
yes,
and now it's
bro.
like a
It's
hype
crazy.
brand.
That is crazy.
So pero por qué? Like for example, why does that happen? Because the value of how people saw it changed. So it's like they decided we don't want to be seen as a cheap brand anymore. I study that a lot for different brands. Hyundai, for example. Hyundai 15 years ago was a cheap Korean brand. Now a Hyundai looks nicer than a Lexus.
Foreign.
bro.
It's like a foreign.
Well, the same thing with Kia.
Yeah, it's the same
Kia
company.
switched up
Oh,
like
yeah.
massively.
Yeah.
They
bro.
started saying, they stole all the designers from other car companies, and they were like, we want to do badass cars.
Yeah.
Still the same company.
Yeah.
They just rebranded and they showed people this is what we can really do.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge part of what artists, anybody really in general, entertainers, you guys as podcasters, be authentic, bro. It's be something that people want to consume, people want to be a part of. Like when I saw what you guys did with She's, I'm like, oh yeah, I want to do that. Like I'm down to do that. You know?
Appreciate that.
Nah,
Yeah.
like we were trying to get him on for like this is the behind the
For a
scenes.
while,
She's not
yeah.
here right now. But bro, we were trying to get him on because I came across him through one of my friends that I went to ad school with, and she's friends with Christy and them. And I remember she went to a concert, and I'm like, let me see who this group is. and I listen to them. I'm like, yo, like, it's so hard to find people making like real music or like shit that makes you feel something at a small like. And now it's like a cool experience where I'm like, yo, like I remember, like I saw Shiza when they had this many followers or like whatever, and now when they grow, like you feel like connected. I'm like, oh, I was on that journey with them.
Yeah.
And that's what like ultimately like people want to feel with you is like when you're starting out, it's like, yo, like I saw them grow as an artist. I saw them like develop themselves and like,
And
I feel like that's what it's all about. Yeah.
I think that's why we bring Gonzi up so much.
Yeah.
'Cause, like,
we know, and also like that he's generally a good person. It helps because if he like just
It was an asshole.
switched up or like just se actuó como like somebody like grand like super too big for shit. Like,
Right.
Sí.
like that makes it harder to be like, all right, well, like, you know, I'm not a fan of you as much anymore.
literally,
But like someone that remains cool and remains humble and like
always
bro,
helpful.
yeah, and the fact that sometimes he'll comment like just like funny shit on him.
Yeah,
I'm like, all right,
right.
like he's a regular dude,
People.
bro.
Yeah,
like,
literally.
I remember when J Balvin and like Nicky Jam were like BFFs on social media. That was funny to watch, bro. They were
Bro,
just like,
I think that's why Nicky Jam came back so hard is
yeah,
because when
that was his,
he was doing like random videos
and he
people
was
were like, yo, it's funny
showing
as fuck.
who he was as a person. Creo que esa esencia se perdió también where when social media started. Well, when it first started, you were just posting the randomest things of like, shoe or this is, you know,
Sí, sí,
it's a trash can with the sepia filter. Después it evolved into kind of like that, like
More curated
when
content.
Vine came out, it was. Oye, Eladio started as a Vine comedian, doing like the randomest.
I did everything. Bro. I was a swimmer. And
But
I
that's what I'm saying. But that evolution of seeing, wait a minute, I can do something with this. Que siento que ahorita las redes, especially new people who want to start in the business, start replicating the big artists. Pero al revés, they start at the top of what the big artists are doing ya when they made it.
Yeah.
Everybody today wants to act like they made it, but they haven't done the work to show what they did.
Right.
You know, y vuelvo y te digo, no es tirándole la mano a nadie. It's more of like like, bro, start from the bottom. Like, be humble.
Yeah.
Go do the work. Go perform at you know,
Sí.
at Bayside for 10 people and feel what that feels like. Todo el mundo quiere ya at the clubs y las mesas, and it's like, start from the bottom, bro. Like, feel what it feels like to fail before you.
Yeah.
Porque si no, all the time you're gonna be disappointed. De que, ¿por qué no me está funcionando esto? Porque you didn't start from where you're supposed to.
Yeah, you're skipping steps.
You're skipping steps, 100%.
Like it's a bit a little like profanity, but I was like, hay que romperse el culo un poquito, bro. Like you have to bust your ass. Like, I
That, bro.
Yeah, like you have to. You
Oh,
have
yeah,
to
and not only as an artist, when I started in the industry, I swear I was a hot shit. I was like, I'm gonna be the next Scooter Braun, and I me di cantazo como loco, and I realized, like now, at the point I'm at in the industry, I'm like, I've gotten far, but I still have so much to learn. But now I'm more humble with myself about it. I'm like, cógelo con calma, baby steps. You know, surround yourself with the right people. Learn about what you're doing more than anything.
Total.
When I started in the industry, you know, I was 22 years old, viajando por ahí con Zanny Lennox y eso. I wasn't arrogant.
How you just say that? Like
I know.
But I wasn't arrogant, but I was like, I want more. Like, ya tengo esto. What do I do next? Y no era ni por las redes. Era porque this industry sucks you in on both ends in a way that you feel power because you're. And I've talked about it on another podcast I did that was a bit more about like mental health, where it's like being attached to an artist, you feel powerful. Pues it's like, oh, estoy con esta persona. This I'm cool because I walked into the club with this guy, or soy pana del otro, or this guy gave me a shout out. That's why people want the picture with the artist.
Yeah.
Because it's the cloud of like, oh, I saw Drake and you didn't, bro.
Nah.
Drake doesn't even know who you are, bro. Like,
Drake did this for 2 seconds.
You caught Drake like walking.
yeah. So for me, even for me, like as a person in the industry, it took me to humble myself and be like, espérate, if I started changing who I looked up to in the industry, who I started hanging out with. Like now I look up to mentors that are way older than me, that are doing what I actually want to be doing. You know, gente que digo, oh, ese tipo está prendido and he's doing the cool shit. He's like, you know, because I mean, it's part of maturing as a person. You get to a certain age,
Etapas, right?
you get to a certain, you know, in your 20s, you're trying to,
Hell yeah,
te
John
crees dueño del mundo, and fuck it, I want,
Like
you know,
Scarface,
yeah, exacto. And with like, here, tabaco in the bathtub, it was
I
like,
want the world, Chico.
and what happened? He got killed in his own house.
Who do I trust me?
Anyway, by the way, I don't know, super random. I got like an Instagram ad that Al Pacino's doing some shit here, like in the Adrian Art Center.
Oh, really?
It's the 40th anniversary of Scarface. That was something.
man.
Crazy, yeah, it's
It's like
crazy.
a dinner with Al Pacino. It's like a whole super cool.
Damn,
thing.
that's badass.
Wow.
Well,
Anyway, yeah. But going back to that even me, like in the industry, throughout my different bro. When I went into management with CNCO, I had zero idea of how to be a manager.
Yeah.
And me di mucho cantazo and I'm not gonna say it was pretty, and I won't come out saying I killed it, because I didn't. Like I made a lot of fucking mistakes, but I learned. Y al final tú sales de eso diciendo, you know, now after going through that, I know where I messed up, where I have to be improved. I'm not scared of it. I'll try it again at some point in my life. Pero ya sabiendo donde me equivoqué.
Claro.
And I think artists need to go through that too.
Sí, total.
You need to know, you need to fuck up. You need to go on stage and swear like you're hot shit and have nobody sing your songs or literally boo you and be like, you suck. Like, I think artists need to go through that pa como que see if you really want it or not.
Yeah.
Porque I think that's the difference between a good artist and like un wannabe. Is like, are you willing to go through the hard shit
Literally.
to get to the good stuff?
Bro, we were at Vibra Urbana, and so they had 2 stages, the big
Yeah,
Amazon
they had
one.
3, but like there was like the main one, which is like
Yeah.
all like the huge artists play, and there was like another one that's like way further to the left.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Like parking lot.
like out of the way. Like yeah.
And then some people were there, and like los artistas que estaban ahí, like no mucha gente iba allá, aunque
Like you had the challenge,
Yeah.
but ya estaba, like you're already out of the way.
literally.
Yeah, so you
yeah.
already have like your back against the wall because
Sí.
está como que fuera, like everyone's going to the main stage and you're like to the side.
Okay.
So what I'm
Okay.
saying is like it's hard to. I think of it like this is why I'm not an artist, because I would not be able to like perform. Like if there's 100 people when there's really
When there's like
2.
10,
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like that's
And
That's
credit to
kinda
them
crazy.
because they showed like la gana of being like, yo, like
Right.
if you're here, like I'm interacting with you.
Right.
Like, I'm,
Literally.
like, and that's what like, bro, those people are gonna remember that forever.
Right.
True.
Well, the other day, we were talking about it. I actually started following an artist, and I like added her music because I liked her music, because I saw a reel of her explaining that she was supposed to do a show like at a restaurant, and it was raining, and literally not a single person showed up. And either way, she did the show for literally the owner and like the waiters at the restaurant.
dope.
And she documented the whole thing, and because of that reel, and
It went
not only
viral.
that, she put her song in the background. The song was great, and I'm like, fuck, this is an artist I want to follow.
Yeah.
Because también es eso. You want to feel like I was there from the
first,
beginning.
yeah.
I remember when I went to see 21 Pilots, like in some small, no, it wasn't small, but it was like 100 something people venue in Fort Lauderdale. And a year later, I went to see them at the arena at the BB&T. Yeah. So not to say that I was there first, but to see kind of that crazy growth, and it was still the same 2 kids with the same passion singing the same songs.
Yeah.
It was just they were doing the work. They literally said, "We're in a van with our sound guy playing at all these little bars around the U.S."
Yeah.
And that's the difference between like artists that make it and like artists that
They just fizzle out.
I feel like
Yeah.
they gotta just enjoy like the journey of whatever stage they're in.
Yeah.
Sí, total.
Because like that's like at the end of the day, like let's say you blow up quick, like you might not even have the experience of like, oh, like I had to bust my ass. Like I mean, yeah, you probably busted your ass to get to that point, but like I feel like you need to go through certain things that test you like that.
I feel like you wouldn't value it either.
No.
Like if you get to the top, you wouldn't know what you have, and you'll mess it up.
Es que ahí está la diferencia, porque creo que again, social media makes people want to become artists because they want to be famous. They don't want to be artists. We work with a ton of artists that make a great living, and they're not on the charts. They're not, selling out arenas, but they're just consistent, y desde sus casas están sacando música, and people love it.
Yeah.
And they make a decent living from that, and they're able to pay their bills, and that for me is more impressive que alguien in a Ferrari with
Yeah.
as an artist, tú dices, porque, y lo digo, I've worked with all types of artists, and I really enjoy, we talk about it all the time, I really enjoy working with developing artists and seeing them from the bottom up, porque we've kind of, when they're big, it's cool to work with them, obviamente, and it's a great experience, but they're there. Like, es como que más,
You don't get to see like
te disfrutas más el proceso de decir como que, bro, we busted our ass together with that artist, y mira dónde está
Look
ahora.
where you started.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah.
you.
Right.
Sí,
And that's a super cool experience. At least for me, that's super fulfilling
Yeah, I think so.
as someone in the industry.
Oh yeah, bro. We gotta start wrapping up, but I want to do a segment, which let's see how it goes because we've never done it. I don't even think you guys know the segment.
It's brand
I
new.
thought
Just
about
creates it on the spot. Like, of course, we're not
on my
gonna.
drive here, I created it in my
What's going
He
on?
just looked it up on ChatGPT.
I know.
He's like, yo, I need to add some content.
ChatGPT. But
No, just kidding.
so we're called the Domino table, and in the Domino table, after the game, you revuelve,
Right,
¿sabes? Echar esa agua, como dicen los cubanos.
Right.
So we want kind of like mix it up, and I want to kind of like turn you guys right now.
Okay.
Like is there anything that you guys want to know about us before we head out of here?
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, I know
We'll
you
see.
work in copyright. Like, what do you guys do outside of like the podcast?
So, I am a emergency room nurse.
No way.
Oh, wow.
That's dope.
Yeah, recently.
Interesting.
So if anything happens in the pod, we know who to call.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh, but yeah, I'm
Not
ready.
ready
Yeah, I'm not ready.
Hopefully nothing happens.
Don't put me in that spot right now, but yeah.
Aquí tienen infarto, we know who to call.
Sí, yeah, empecé hace poquito.
Nice.
And it's going good, so.
Dope.
Yeah.
And
I just work a regular 9 to 5 at a
Okay.
logistic company.
That's
Oh.
dope.
Yeah,
That's cool, man.
regular stuff.
And how do you guys like get to know each other and come up with the whole podcast?
So we met each other like through our girlfriends, because our girlfriends are best friends.
Nice.
And
I love that.
It really was like my girlfriend's friends started dating you guys. Like we didn't know each other like
Yeah,
until like
literally.
college. at
No
least.
way.
Yeah.
That's dope.
And then like we were just all hanging out together because like whatever. Like
Right.
once the girlfriends like get together, like
That's
we're,
it.
we're,
And the guys,
we're,
you're
like
Boy,
yo,
you
like
gotta be boys.
yeah, we
Yeah.
we're living together, telling war stories. No, but it was like that. And then I remember during the pandemic, like it would go like a lot of time like before we would like kind of talk to each other and like gotta get together. So I was like one day I was like yo,
She wants to play.
kind of just called them up like yo, let's just like play dominoes like once a week,
No way.
just to like kind of talk and like.
That's dope.
And so the conversations that happened from there,
Como
were
todo, like, yo, you should do a
Sí.
podcast.
Yeah.
and
Oh, that's dope.
I had experimented with a podcast before,
Okay.
so I had the mic. It was really one mic though, like it was
Oh
a
my
mic in the
God,
middle.
yeah.
Right.
It was like I don't know if you know like the blue Yeti
See,
microphone, like the cheap.
a USB
Yeah,
connected
exactly.
to yeah.
Put it in the middle. The audio sounded horrible. Like I'm looking now, like I'm like, the
Super
audio
I
sounded
remember
Yeah.
every sound would.
Yeah,
You
in a
would touch the
bathroom.
table and it would
Yeah.
you would hear it. So and then we were like, yo, let's just like talk, like whatever comes to our mind. Like
That's what's up.
people at that time were like looking for content, and we're like,
Right.
bro, I feel like a lot of people could just like listen to this and just like feel like they're not
Relate.
alone, like whatever.
Right.
Sí.
That's how it started. I mean,
Dope.
and we used to talk whatever.
Yeah,
Cool.
literally.
And then it was actually until I pitched to them like we were looking for a studio to like make our stuff sound better, and
Got
like,
it.
we were I had seen the vision of like turning podcast into video like right when it first started happening.
Okay.
So I was like, yo, look, like I have this camera. It's like the camera's right back there. It shoots 1080p. It's like very
Nice.
like tiny. Like now we got better ones.
Yeah.
It was we had humble beginnings.
Yeah.
We started with humble beginnings. But I remember when we kind of switched our lane into like being like, yo, we could like we had the opportunity to like do something cool here.
Right.
Is when we interviewed John, Visionary.
Yeah,
Oh,
of
yeah.
course.
And then the week after that, I was like, yo, do you think we can interview Gonzi?
Gonzi.
That was
And
our
that
first.
was your first like.
Them
artist.
two were our first like, not our first interviews. I think they were like our second and third interviews.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh
We
yeah,
did- we
yeah.
did,
We did a lot.
We
Just
did
us.
Willie. Yeah. We did Willie, which was
Yeah.
one of our boys.
Yeah,
And then-
vecino.
yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
Oye, tío, ven pa' acá.
Literally.
And then after that, we did them too because we're like, yo, let's try to interview people we don't know.
That's awesome.
And then
Chévere.
from that moment, we're like, yo, like there's something to this. Like,
That's how it starts, man.
Sí.
That's
and
how
then
it
we're
starts.
like, at that same time, like we started getting really interested in like the Latino creative scene that was popping up in Miami. We're like, yo, like there's always something dope
Oh
happening
yeah,
now.
there's a
Yeah.
huge movement, and I mean it's been going on for a long time, but I feel like now more than ever, like it's actually,
Yeah.
it's buzzing.
It's
a
like
lot.
like we compare it to like a bubble where it's like right now it's bubbling and it's about to pop. So we
And
gotta be in,
everybody's,
like,
but it's super cool. Like I wasn't even saying it. Like I've been going to a lot of really cool events of like at studios and kind
Yeah.
of just meeting the new energy of artists in Miami, and it's really really cool what's going on.
yeah. And then no, that's pretty much like where like how we got to where we are today.
Nice.
And yeah, I don't know. I tell them all the time. I'm like, yo, like it's crazy. Like I feel super fortunate to even like
Be able to do this
be able to. 'cause
Yeah.
it's like we talk about something like we would never meet these people if we didn't.
if we
do
weren't
Right.
doing this podcast.
Claro.
like we wouldn't be able to hear these stories and like
Of
Go from
course.
this podcast and those people, and then we started doing our live show we did 2 months ago.
Right.
yeah, and that was like
And like
Como
and
fue
how do you
eso?
build like your audience from there? Like from when you guys started, like the first podcast you put up, who was watching that? Like for
bro.
example.
I mean, at first it was like our friends and like people we went to high school with. 'Cause
Okay.
that's who like sees
See,
you
and
at
you were
first
like sharing
on your
it
feed.
on
yeah.
your social
Yeah,
media and
exactly.
stuff like that.
And then from that, once we started doing like more interviews with people who we didn't know, their markets started tapping in.
Nice.
And we were like, oh shit, like there's this person who followed us. He's an artist from this place, and we're like, oh shit, cool, like. And then we're tapping in there. We're learning about new people. We're like, oh shit, like this is dope.
Fans de San Diego, like,
wow.
Bro, a guy came to our live show. He was from California, and we were like,
oh, that's right.
This was not that serious.
Yeah.
Come across the country, fly out, bro.
I was like, I want to send you a video.
Ay, viejo, exclusivamente para el show de este.
Yeah.
I mean, he already stayed in Miami for other things, but
True,
that's
yeah.
But that's a really cool reason to like,
Sí.
I
Like-
want to check these guys out.
Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
that, I was like, I told him, I'm like, yo, like, you talk about imposter syndrome? I was like, what the fuck?
We have a fan from the
Bueno.
West Coast.
I was
West
like,
Coast.
like, when you see like the analytics and like your like the map, you see there's one dot.
Yeah.
There's one dot in
Like, who's
California.
that guy?
No, pero eso significa que están haciendo bien el
So
trabajo.
yeah,
and enjoy the
that's a
process
huge
too.
part of it.
Yeah.
I see it a lot. You know what you guys do with comedians, with like I mentioned before, like Marco Belay. Like I see, you know, there's a lot of people that started just for fun. A ver qué pasaba.
Yeah.
And then it started turning into something. And I think that's super cool that you guys are seeing it also on your end as a media. Yeah, al final es eso, bro. It's like I talk about it all the time. One of the things that before we did the podcast, I'm like, what are we supposed to talk about? Like, whatever you want. Bro.
Yeah.
I was like, I love it. Porque
Go
I've
crazy.
done other podcasts donde obviamente son más específicos a ciertos temas. And that's cool too.
Sí.
But you know, you get to a point where like you've already said it so many times.
Yeah, like,
no quieres como
it's like
que
repetitive,
repite
yeah.
lo mismo. So
Yeah,
I think it's cool that this kind of we went all
Sí.
over the place.
we don't really ask like, oh, what do you want to talk about? We kind of ask what don't you want us to say?
Yeah.
And then,
Right.
well, everything
What's
else
off
is on the
the
table.
table?
Yeah. What's off the table? Everything else is gonna be said.
Yeah,
probably.
literally.
That's awesome.
So that's how we approach it. And we also, it's like thinking of like whoever we're interviewing or whoever we have on. It's like people just want to get to know them.
Hell yeah.
So it's like that's the approach we're taking. Is like this is an inside look at this person, and like
Right.
if you fuck with them, follow them. If you like, you know,
Claro.
get into that world or
No, it's chévere. Like I think it's cool too. Like I'm a big fan of like late night shows like Conan and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Que a veces you see specific guests always have like a specific chemistry with the
Yeah.
people.
With the host?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of cool too to see. Like, you know, I would love to. Whenever you guys want to invite me to one of these, I'll come and
Yeah,
talk
for
crap
sure.
about whatever you guys
No,
are talking about.
we-
Of course, bro.
That kind of
we
stuff.
talk crap for a living.
Yeah. Por eso te digo. So,
Yeah.
so those are kind of things that,
Yeah.
you know, uno también, like you said, we're cooped up in the office a veces so much, we don't really get to share
Sí.
what we do
Yeah.
or what we're doing out there. So me at least, anytime they invite me to stuff like this or the panels and stuff like that,
Right.
I love it because you also
Yeah.
te nutres de lo que la gente está like asking and what people are wanting to know, you know?
¿Cuál es el lugar más loco en el que han grabado un podcast?
Well, in the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In a shed.
So, yeah,
No
so,
way.
yeah, so
We
you know,
should.
like the sheds that you store like garden
Yeah,
material.
the plastic ones. Lo de
No,
plástico.
this one was concrete, so it was even hotter.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Bro, we used to
God.
record.
Like a sauna.
Luckily at
Con
night,
ventiladores.
but even then, bro, it was. He was sitting like we didn't
On a
have. It was so
cooler.
small.
Yeah.
We had just the table. Like we just had space for the table.
And a Home Depot bucket.
Basically,
Nice.
he was sitting on a cooler. I think I was.
You had a
sitting-
chair. You had like a
yeah,
folding chair.
It was like one of those folding chairs that you
Yeah.
just. It was. Got out the mud.
It was a mission.
That's
Yeah, it was a
awesome.
Con
mission
las
for real.
uñas, con las
Yeah,
uñas.
yeah,
¿no?
Have you guys ever played actual dominoes on one of the podcasts or no?
We've
tried.
We've tried. We did a couple where.
I mean, I think it's also just so loud.
Yeah.
that-
Bro, yeah.
Yes.
That's honestly that's the issue, and we've brainstormed like ways around that,
All right.
but ultimately it comes down to like we don't have a consistent enough space to do it. Where
Right,
we
Yeah,
right, right.
true.
Where you can
like,
know what's going
at our
on.
stage right now. We're like,
Right.
it would make sense when we're a little bit bigger.
Right.
And
we
when we
have
have
ideas
like our own
like a
studio.
set, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
we have
That's cool.
ideas of how like what's a cool way we could do that.
Right. That's
But-
cool.
So like that's like I remember we did like 2 episodes with it, but we never released them because we're like you can't hear anything.
I know.
Like at the end of the day,
We
it's
forgot
like,
to talk. And we're like, too
sometimes it would just be silent because everyone's like just like.
You're just
Trying to see what's up.
That paso.
Yeah. Like, no llevo. So that's like the other
That's
thing,
awesome.
but
You know, one of the funny things about dominoes, because I grew up, like I was born in Miami, but I grew up in PR. In PR, they play with doble C. So it's
that's
different.
right.
we did
Yeah.
do la nueve.
In PR, you use all the dominoes, so it's kind of easier to figure out who has what. So sometimes when we'd go over there, my family's Cuban, So we had the double 9 sets. Y allá era como que, ¿qué es esta mierda, bro?
Nah, you show my dad like play double six. My dad would get so mad because bro, my dad used to play like in Cuba like they used to play like leagues, bro.
Yeah, serious.
Bro, you see him playing and you just see him analyzing like
Yeah.
it's like a robot.
They
Like,
start reading the features.
They
like
read
everybody
it.
else.
Yeah, bro, there's,
It's another
I don't know
level. I
that
can't
what
play with that.
brujeria. I have an uncle that's like that you have like 6 fichas and he knows tira esa. And I'm like, how do you know I have that?
They
How do you
count-
know?
They count them. They know what's people throwing out.
No,
It's
Sí,
literally.
pero es que en Cuban
Literally,
domino
bro.
sobran fichas. Like,
Yeah,
how do
bro,
you know
it's
when-
crazy. It's crazy.
no,
So
they're not.
since I'm Colombian Honduran, like dominoes and all that stuff was like I didn't really.
You
play
didn't,
it
right,
growing
right,
up.
right, right.
So like
Yeah.
watching like my Cuban friends play, like the way they speak to each other, I would just always laugh at one of our friends that he would be like, "No mires tanto, pasa." And then you just see Ray. yeah, he
No,
knows.
es que el dominó, I mean,
Pero yo no sabía que había
pecho.
un Cuban domino y un diferente para...
es que
Juegan
el
doble
dominó
9.
cubano llega hasta el 9.
Hasta el 9.
En Puerto Rico llega hasta el 6.
Hasta el 6.
So, se
Son
usan
fichas
todas las
diferentes.
A mí me tocó hasta el 6 también, sí.
Pues el cubano son 9. Tú coges la
Sobran
tuya
fichas.
y sobran fichas.
Ya.
So, no necesariamente
No
todas
mires
las fichas
tanto,
están en la mesa.
La Cuba.
Sí, esa es la otra. That each feature has a name. Que si la vaca, que si no sé qué, que si tercero.
La
La
gorda,
gorda, yeah.
yeah, so
That's funny, bro. Nah,
man.
I think Domino's is such a cool part of like the
Yeah.
Cuban culture. It's like
En parques también hay un
en la
resto de
calle 8 hay
nombres.
un parque
El parque
dominó.
Ah, sí.
Que se meten los viejitos allí
En
a...
parques
all
también
day.
hay unos
Un día nos
nombres
vamos a meter ahí
chistosos.
para-
That's a
La
retirement home,
pataperro,
like,
Nos vamos a meter ahí un día para hacer un podcast.
That would be
Sí.
dope. En la calle 8, bro. That
we're
would
gonna
be
get
hell
destroyed, but
yeah.
dale.
I just started interviewing the viejos. and
It's
like,
like, bro, don't do that. By the way,
What?
like, don't start hinting at one of them hat. 'cause
seña, seña.
they'll kill you.
Por ahora mesita, mira, con la patita ahí.
No, don't be giving signs because they'll find you.
Oh, bro, yeah, hell yeah. They take
No,
that shit
bro.
seriously.
Nah, venga, bro.
No, y si le jodiste la jugada a teammate, no juegues más.
Oh, no, quítate.
Bro, we
Tú no
got.
ves que yo estoy tirando 4.
I get pissed. I get pissed too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I'm
me
like, yo,
too.
what are you throwing?
Me too. Because I'll play with my girlfriend against like people, like against like my uncle and,
Right,
like,
right,
and my
right.
aunt who like they've been playing this shit forever. But my
Right.
girlfriend, she didn't grow up playing dominoes like
Right.
that. And I'll play with her. I'm like, yo, look, we're in teams. Make sure you take account of
Look
what I
at what
have.
I'm
If I'm not playing,
If I'm not playing, don't play that
Don't
side.
play that side.
Bro, and then like she won't catch it because she's like playing her game.
Like, oh, this match.
That's what, yeah. That's how they hate it playing with me, because I'd be like, oh, right here.
Cualquiera.
Oh, right here. And then, yeah.
and then, bro, it got to where we're just like, yo, I can't play.
I can't play anymore.
He's like, oh, wow, how do they keep winning? And
That's funny. That's
Because
hilarious.
you give me the game.
no,
Nah,
bro.
that's cool, man. No, I mean, this is an awesome experience.
Yeah.
Como les dije, like at one point I just forgot we were on a podcast and we're just talking. And
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Nah,
Yes.
we appreciate you guys for coming on. Is there anything
Yeah,
you guys
for
want to
real.
say before we cut? Any not plugs, but like anything you guys got going on that you guys want to promote?
No, pero
Does
acá
any of your artists have anything coming up?
I mean,
Sí.
I just say don't take what we're saying to heart in,
Yeah.
in a bad way. It's just advice of people who deal with this every single day. Y
Yeah.
todo lo que decimos, we're not saying it, at least I don't say it to criticize. I'm more saying it because I see that it doesn't work. And it's like, bro, like, I get it. Y entiendo somebody to want to be a certain way when you're an artist, but take it from people who do this literally every day, bro. Like, this is you have to be in it for the right reason.
Yeah.
You just figure out what you want to do and you know, be in it for the ride and be ready for the hard stuff. Como tú dices, you guys started in a shed. Like, Ayatita and Micha started recording in his closet in Cuba and with eggshells on the walls. Like, that's how he started.
Yep.
And now he's traveled the world doing tours in Europe, en todos lados, but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
No, y está su casa, en verdad, está su casa,
Yeah.
todos los artistas out there, acá nosotros felices de poder trabajar con ustedes y nada, qué bueno que pudieron conocer un poquito más de lo que hacemos, de la empresa, de cómo trabajamos y acá bienvenidos todos.
Yeah.
Duro.
For sure. Well, everyone who's watching right now, definitely go follow 1RPM on Instagram.
Sí.
Check them out if you're an artist right there, because I know some artists watch us. definitely check them out. Go to their site, see what they got, see what they can do for you. You're watching this, you're listening to this. Remember, we're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I think even Amazon and
Audible,
Google Play. Yeah, we're
everything and anything.
Okay.
Anyway.
But yeah, we're in Miami. We're catch us out there. Pero,
In the hood and Kendall.
Yeah. Repping in Kendall. Getting it out the mud. But thank you guys. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Remember, subscribe, like the content, comment maybe who you want to see next, because we're always taking those in, and engage with us on social too. I'll say Instagram is huge. Like we especially now we're gonna start getting more into like engagement. So
yeah,
for sure, like reach out there. What you gonna say?
Boom.
I was just, you know how we always ask like who they want to see next.
Yeah.
Like who is it? Some of you guys.
Who do you think needs to be sitting down with us
next?
Like who would you recommend that needs to be sitting down with us?
It's a good question.
Taylor Swift.
Ooh.
I wish.
That's so ambitious,
Un
bro.
día.
That's so
Taylor,
ambitious.
Yeah.
We'll do it in Spanish.
You know who I would love? I mean, I don't know if he's done this type of podcast, just because he came from this world. I mean, it's also super ambitious, but I'll just put it out there. Marcelo, the kid that started Only in Dade.
Yeah, from
Only in
SNL.
Dade.
That was an
He's in
SNL,
SNL.
bro.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
That shit,
That's crazy.
That was like the Miami,
That's a
like
good
Yes.
one.
Miami made it.
Miami made it, bro.
Yeah.
No, that's so
Marcelo
cool. I
Yeah.
think, I mean, the you know, a cool one that Kendaya, for example. I don't know if we can put you in touch with his people. If you guys interviewed Gonzi, like he's a super cool artist, bro, and that guy has a cool story to tell. You know, he's from Cuba. When he came to our studio and told us how he grew up in Cuba doing music, y lo que ha hecho y toda esa cosa. You know, so kind of in Miami, there's so many local artists, bro, and I think Gonzi's a great example of an artist born and raised in Miami.
Yeah.
And that he reps Miami and what, you know, we do here. Porque sí, como que Miami también se ha convertido en haven for artists de otros lados a venir a... So sometimes I feel like people don't necessarily take the locals seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Te digo también que se me ocurre que podría estar chévere Julián Duque, que él es un chico que está haciendo es como una especie como de conferencia que llama On Scene, que hicieron este
super
año.
cool. It's like an independent
Super cool.
for independent artists.
Oh,
nice.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Creo que
Voy a
estaría
echar.
chévere
That
porque
guy's a cool
sí.
guy. We can put you guys in contact.
Sí, porque
Right.
siento
Reach
que
out.
no hay muchos espacios aquí en Miami de eso, y eso es uno de los primeros que están como empezando,
Doing the
Okay.
work, yeah.
abriendo ese espacio para esa escena. Entonces está chévere.
Sure.
Good
I
stuff.
appreciate
No,
that.
we gotta do it, bro.
Yeah.
Close it?
No,
Always
we're
down.
we're gonna head out of here soon. We don't wanna.
I don't know anymore if we're on the podcast or we're just talking.
Yeah.
I just have my mic with
We'll let them go. But wait, thank you guys.
Subscribe.
We love you guys. We'll see you guys in the next one. Remember, Instagram,
TikTok.
Instagram, Domino Table Studios, YouTube, TikTok is the Domino Table.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
trying
I know.
to, because we don't have the Domino Table on Instagram. That's the only one
Yeah.
that pisses me off, bro. But bueno, we love you guys and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Chao.